Pirates Full Level System, Chapter 341-360. Chapter 341 Mysterious Woman. I'm going to look for candles. Golden Lion said in a timely manner. He observed to see if there was a place to escape nearby, so he excused himself to find candles. No need, Chin Luo said in a flat tone. With a flick of his hand, there was a flashlight on his palm. He just found the system to exchange a flashlight. Flashlights are a rare thing in this era. Bass, Chin Luo turned on the flashlight, and a beam of white light shone out, illuminating the warehouse in front of him. However, the power of the flashlight is not very large, and the range of finding out is not very large. Chin Luo can only make do with it. I'll go, shouldn't this goddamn Luyun be a monster? Golden Lion saw that Chin Luo's hand actually emitted a beam of light, illuminating the space in front of him. He couldn't help but want to reach out and touch the light to see if it was fire, but he strongly restrained it. This foolish impulse. This is weird, Chin Luo said in his heart after a cursory observation. This ship is not a pirate ship, but there are a lot of books and food piled up in the cabin. According to the urine of pirates, there is absolutely only wine in the cabin. And food, these are pirates' favorite things at banquets. And when the hull fell just now, I don't know if the rest of the people heard it, but Chin Luo knew that there was a living person on the boat, and it was definitely a woman. This is also one of the doubts on this ship. Another point is that after getting on the boat, the Golden Lion's face looked as usual, but the friction of his arms did not stop. He was obviously uneasy, and he was definitely afraid of being discovered by Chin Luo. Golden Lion should have known that there was someone on the boat, but he didn't take the initiative to say, and Chin Luo wasn't going to ask. The boat was in Chin Luo's hands, and it was the same with no one. Watching Chin Luo look around brightly and dignifiedly, Golden Lion's heart slowly fell. It seems that Chin Luo did not find the existence of that woman. As long as the existence of that woman is not discovered, he still has a great chance of revenge. That woman is the sweet pastry of the whole world. She is called the Devil Queen, because this person can read the historical texts that the world government is very afraid of. Those historical texts record the three ancient killers of Hades, sea kings and heavenly kings. What is known so far as Pluto? Pluto is a ship, the worst warship in the history of shipbuilding, a super warship built by the capital of Seven Waters, can destroy an island with one shot, and is now sleeping somewhere in the world. Its location is currently only this woman who understands the text of history knows it. Therefore, black and white people, whether it is the marine government or the dark arms dealers, are frantically arresting this woman. Legend has it that Hades, who blasted down a small island with one cannonball, possessed the destructive power that any manpower could possess. The world government has always longed for and feared such a weapon. They were afraid that Pluto would fall into the hands of pirates or the Revolutionary Party. At that time, the Holy Land known as the Impregnable Maria would be something that could be solved with a single shot. Marineford, the world government, it's also a one-shot thing. On the contrary, if the world government obtains this sharp weapon to deal with the legendary four Emperor pirates, that is, the problem of the four cannons, the ability to shock and deter in the era of the great pirates will be unprecedentedly tyrannical. The official has always wanted to use such a powerful weapon to end the era of great pirates and maintain marine justice. Golden Lion thought about this, and couldn't help but glance at Chin Luo. At this time, he saw Chin Luo strolling around the courtyard, looking at the so-called treasure, books, and various types of books like he was walking in a garden. She didn't know that there was a woman who was concerned with the world situation. Boom! A light reflected from the back of the shipboard, and when this firelight appeared, the corners of Chin Luo's mouth showed an arc, which was why he thought it was strange just now. Chin Lurang was completely oblivious, and turned around deftly to avoid the jet of fire in the darkness. A musket! A musket! The expression on Golden Lion's face was completely dull. How could there be a musket? Do you remember that you snatched all those muskets before? Why does this guy still have a gun? And in such a narrow space, his Golden Lion's ability could not be used at all. He only needed to rely on observation hockey to improve his reaction ability and avoid the musket. Stinky pirate, you must die. Where the firelight came, there was a curse full of icy anger in the darkness. It was obvious that the person who shot the black gun in the darkness hated Qinluo and Golden Lion to death. Get ready to switch positions and shoot. Women. Qinluo confirmed the thoughts in his heart, but he was still a little dumbfounded. This woman is so strong, which is rare in the world. There are not many women who play with guns and sticks in any era. Of course, the small island of the Empress never mind. Special country. Boom. The voice in the air was remembered again, the flames spurted, and an iron egg flew towards Qinluo like a spark mixed with spittle. It's too slow, Qinluo said in a cold tone. If the speed of this flight reaches Qinluo's level, it is basically like watching a baby run towards him. Level, a clip with dexterous hands. That iron bullet was caught in no time. You all die for me. The angry roar came out again, and the sturdy woman shot Qinluo frantically as if her parents had been killed. Hey, you crazy woman can't be unreasonable. If you do this again, I'll take action. Qinluo was irritated by the smell of gunpowder on his back. Although the iron bullets couldn't hurt him, the smell of gunpowder from the flying spittle stars it's choking, and the space here is so small that it can't be diffused at all. This musket was obviously aimed at the Golden Lion. I really don't know if the Golden Lion did something to the woman's family, causing it to be so crazy and so irrational. Saying that, he glanced at Golden Lion with his eyes. Golden Lion also stood beside him and realized that the other party had been eyeing Qinluo, who was holding a flashlight, so he was happy to avoid Qinluo leisurely. At this time, he happened to catch Qinluo's eyes looking at him, but it was a murderous intent. What made Golden Lion's back feel cold for a while, and the breeze was blowing, and his back was already wet. Go ahead, kill me and let me die with them. However, even if I die, I will drag you down to be buried with you. The woman in the dark was always alive and dead. Her tone was full of sadness, anger, and helplessness. The bullet in her hand exploded with a bang, and she shifted positions several times with experience. Chapter 342 Nico Robin. However, in Qinluo and Golden Lion's view, this is very naive, because one of them has a man with full-level white eyes and a full-level body, and the other is a legendary pirate with observation hockey. How could they not find it? How can she be killed by a broken gun when she is out of her position? This looks like a joke. Qinluo showed a wry smile. This woman must have recognized the wrong person, and seeing that the other party was so distressed, it was obvious that she had just suffered a big change, and she really had to use coercive force to restrain this person. I was afraid that this person would commit suicide. Forget it, it's important to understand the ins and outs of things, and Golden Lion is definitely a major doubt. Floating up, Qinluo opened only one eye that was exposed in the darkness, blankly. In the dark, I saw the energy body flowing in the human body. I glanced at it and noticed an energy body behind a desk. Qinluo's figure was like a charm, his face was the same as usual, and a beam of lights hit him with malicious intent. Ah, who? The woman originally listened to the other party's footsteps attentively, because the other party turned off the wonderful light-emitting toy just now, so that the woman couldn't track Qinluo's position at all. Her body froze, and the woman was flickered by the ghost in front of her. 12 sweat broke out in her hands. The woman was frantically pulling the trigger, and the flame of the musket had already stopped. Obviously, the gunpowder had been used up. Nicole Robin. Qinluo lit a bunch of lights down, and the other party shot in panic. His hands did not cover his charming face, sharp eyebrows, and heroic phoenix eyes dotted the whole delicate smiling face, as beautiful as the stars, a silver seat. The vine-like hair made her a little dusty. Inside was a tight-fitting t-shirt and jeans, with a more bold career line looming than Robin in the comics, plus a long brown cloak that was washed and faded. This woman's face is exactly the same as Nico Robin in the comics she has seen in her previous life, except that Nico Robin is black and straight. Her face looks like it was carved out of a mold. But in an instant, Chin Luo knew that this was definitely not Nico Robin. Hair characteristics were a problem, and the most important thing was a matter of time. One Piece King of Pirates Roger had just been executed, and Nico Robin was only 6 early years. You stinky pirate, I'm going to kill you. You abandoned my other 33 crew members in the Marine Siege. I hate you. I'm going to kill you. Even if I go to hell, I'm going to drag you go down. Because of her emotional excitement, the peaks and peaks on the silver-haired woman's chest surged up and down, and her face showed cold and determined anger and hatred. Chin Luo was stunned for a while, and a shotgun flashed across his face. It was startling and dangerous. Chin Luo spit out a careless sentence, and dodged the other side's second hammer blow, or a random blow. Luyun God, let me help you take care of this stinky bitch. Golden Lion said like a treasure, now that he is already Chin Luo's younger brother, of course he has to sell Chin Luo some face when he does things. And more importantly, he wanted to take the time to knock this man unconscious. This person is the woman he said was related to the location of the 3 ancient weapons. If this woman was here, maybe she would tell Chin Luo all the secrets. If Chin Luo was tempted by the 3 weapons, then the rest of the things he thought about were out of his control. The weapon plan he arranged with all his heart was like a fantasy, like a summer bubble, and nothing. Chin Luo turned around to dodge the attack, just snorted, his face was expressionless, and the silver-white gecko was sprinkled down, and the woman opposite was still intoxicated. Chin Luo directly ignored Golden Lion's proposal and turned away. This girl, you have something to say slowly. Why do you have to dance and make a stick? Stinky pirate, don't you know what you did yourself? I was captured by you so far, let me watch them helplessly. I hate you. Once the silver-haired woman was shot down, she would not have used force to attack. Just shoot with a shotgun. Chin Luo deftly dodged the attack. She took a spear and slashed it down, bent over too hard and slashed to the ground. Her chest was looming, and she revealed a big flaw. Pulled over her head. Ah! The woman was caught off guard, her center of gravity was lost, and her body couldn't help leaning back. There was a broken glass alcohol lamp behind it. Chin Luo was in a hurry, grabbed her hands that were released, and hugged his waist. In an instant, Chin Luo hugged her tightly and stood in the air. Stinky pirate, big satyr, let me go. The silver-haired woman's face was flushed, and her sharp eyes were filled with anger, anxious and shy, her eyelids were wet, and the warm warmth was lingering. Chin Luo looked at her appearance. At a glance, I couldn't bear it in my heart, so I raised my hand and let go of her. At the same time, Chin Luo flicked his foot quickly and swept away the glass lamp on the ground. Poof! The moment Chin Luo let go of her hand, she fell to the ground with a clatter. Chin Luo's face showed a tinge of pain. It must be very painful to fall down like this, and the face hidden under the mask couldn't help laughing. You can't beat me, Chin Luo said with a sigh of relief. His tone was calm, as if telling an indisputable fact. He wanted to lean over to help her up. Blind man, look clearly, I don't know you. It's even more impossible to persecute you. Please put away your habit of losing your temper. Chin Luo was a little annoyed by the entanglement of the other party, and his tone was a little heavy. I don't know why this woman hates pirates so much. It's the same as killing her father and enemies. This ship belongs to Golden Lion. It is estimated that this old boy, Golden Lion, is disrespectful to the old man and robbed her of her husband and husband. Otherwise it wouldn't be so fierce. To let Golden Lion apologize to this person later, but I also need to make it clear that Golden Lion is now his younger brother under Chin Luo's cover. If the two can avoid quarrels and shake hands to make peace, that's a good pair. Stinky pirate, let you go, just let it go, aren't you stupid? I threw me to pieces. I've been out at sea all my life, and I've never seen a stupid pirate. The silver-haired woman first glanced at Chin Luo's mask and was stunned, and then realized that she had indeed identified the wrong person. That person should have long blonde hair and short legs. But this person actually said that he was blind, which is unbearable. She can see the historical text 800 years ago with her own eyes. In O'Hara, she is called the gifted girl Olivia. She is one of the few people who can read historical inscriptions. She has always been popular with O'Hara's group. The Pedants Welcome. Chapter 343. Have you ever killed Tenryubito? Thinking of the person who left the ship with her, her face suddenly looked like the sea water in winter, and a piece of sad ice fell on her face, and her originally warm eyes suddenly gush out a piece of moisture. Captain, this person dares to hurt you. Let me throw her out of the blue sea. Golden Lion hurriedly emerged from the darkness, his face panicked, the knife flashed on his feet, and Sen Leng's killing intent rippled out. Originally thought that with Qin Luo's character, anyone who dared to offend him would definitely be cut to death. He never thought that Qin Luo was seduced by this woman's beauty and didn't make a move. This made Golden Lion very depressed. The person in front of him was Olivia, a woman who can read the text of history. If Qin Luo knows about the 3 weapons, she is afraid that her revenge plan will become a castle in the air and a mirage. Ah, it's you wicked pirates. You guys, you're a bunch. Even if I can't beat you, I'll kill you. The long-barreled shotgun on the ground slammed into the man's head. Since Golden Lion spoke, Olivia, who was in high tension, felt a little familiar, but she wasn't quite sure. She was distracted by Qin Luo, so she didn't go too deep into it. Now that Golden Lion came out, her long golden hair stood out. Olivia is quite sure that it was the thief in front of her who raised her ship into the sky 4 days ago, and then drove the other 33 companions off the big ship. If they fell into the sea and did not encounter the other ships, it must have been fed to the fish. You want to kill me? Golden Lion screamed, furious in his heart, remembering the humiliation he received at Qin Luo's feet just now, with long blonde hair and long beard, a knife-like gecko's silver brilliance directly into Olivia's heart. Just a blink of an eye can make she went to the palace of hell to report. Base. The knife flashed. Olivia only felt a chill in her chest, the hideous expression on her face turned into a painful spasm, and her breathing became stagnant. Pat. A black shadow turned into a broken kite and flew out quickly, as if it was thrown directly from the cabin by some powerful arm. Olivia covered her chest with both hands, her eyes were dull and unbelievable, and she stared at her chest blankly. She clearly saw the blonde man who was able to dodge all the cannonball attacks before, and use the sharp knife on his foot to stab her chest directly. Why was the man thrown out like a cannonball all of a sudden? Are you surprised? A deep voice recalled in Olivia's ears, causing Olivia to look up at the man in front of him, with black robes over his body and floating clouds. It was the masked man who threw himself to the ground just now. Was staring at himself absently at this time. This look made Olivia very strange, but so familiar. Ah, big pervert, smelly pirate, I'm going to kill you. Olivia finally remembered, this man was staring at his chest all the time. Hey, I just took a few glances. Qin Luo's tone was helpless. No matter how he saved your life, don't say thank you. You should say thank you anyway. Okay, don't say thank you. Then let me earn a few benefits. A feast for the eyes. But you still call me a pervert. I really don't know what logic this person has. Big pervert, smelly pirate, even if you save me, I won't be grateful to you. You are obviously in the same group. He calls you captain. Olivia blushed. The pirates dare to stare nakedly at themselves like this. Heaven and earth can learn from the sky. I Luyun, definitely not killing innocent people indiscriminately, although I have stained countless blood in my hands. But the people I killed are some extremely evil people. For them, I am the god of sanctification. I killed those people to atone for their sins. After Qin Luo said these words, his face was full of awe, but he was shocked by his own words. How could he say so much to a strange woman? Maybe from the moment when she wept in her sharp eyes just now, Qin Luo felt that she was sincere. HMPH, I don't believe it. The most vicious person in the world is Tenryubito. Their crimes are too numerous to describe. Have you ever killed Tenryubito? Olivia's face was full of contempt. This person's tone was that of a cannonballer. No one can say that he is the god of divine judgment. You are a god, and the rest are mortals. It's hilarious. Killed. Chin Luo said in a flat tone. Boasting about his great achievements was just the performance of a coward. Oh, Olivia's sharp eyes have seen human affection, romance, and historical texts. At this moment, she looks at Chin Luo with contempt. Tenryubito lives in the Holy Land Maria and is impregnable. How could anyone get Tenryubito? Moreover, this person was still imposing like a rainbow just now, and now his face is empty. Stinky pirate, don't make fun of it, kill Tenryubito. It's funny, then I'll destroy the Holy Land. Olivia's sarcasm squeezed out of the gap between her teeth. She was tired of farting in this person's air, and was about to use some words run against each other. You don't believe me. Do you want me to take you to the Holy Land Maria to see if they know my name? Forget it, I don't have to. I have general knowledge about a little girl like you. Little girl's film. General knowledge. Where is the old lady? Olivia became angry when she heard it. Her face flushed red. She was in her 20s, and she was scolded for a girl's film. It was the first time since she went overseas. Down, puffing out his chest. Wow. Chin Luo never imagined that there would be such benefits. His face was sluggish, his eyes were shining, and he stared at the pair of big bowls that were propped up. It was really strong and hard to stop. Stinky wolf, where are you looking? Olivia's cheeks were flushed. How could this person be such a rogue? And in a hurry, she slapped him. Although Chin Luo is not a disciple, but he is not Lu Shahui, who is sitting still. Of course, he was fascinated by such a big spring. The latter slapped on his cheek, his 5 fingers were clear, and there was a hot expression on his face. It feels like an abnormal crimson has grown. You, vixen. Chin Luo's face was blushing, and he was also furious. He raised the palm of his full-level protection, and slapped the wicked woman in front of him into smashed mud. Come here. My companions are gone, and I don't want to live, let you bully you. When I die, you can go and see the corpse. Olivia bit her red lips, and her face flushed with excitement. His neck was raised, with a resolute feeling of being slaughtered by the neck and letting the emperor handle it. Chapter 344 Sudden Change. Giant Vine. It was the first time that Chin Luo had met such a strong woman. Compared with Tsunade, Chin Luo couldn't do anything. You'll follow me from now on and see how I teach the weak Tenryubito, the weak Marines, and the idiot Gorosei, 5 elders, and then you'll have nothing to say. When will the old lady come with you? Stinky pirate, stinky wolf. HMPH, it's not your turn to call the shots. Chin Luo showed a charming smile, waved his hand, and shouted, Golden Lion, get out of here and tell me what happened to this woman. Hey, Golden Lion, get out of here. Chin Luo called out several times, but no one responded. He just blew cannons to destroy the Holy Land with the woman in front of him, saying what a weak chicken marine. Now Golden Lion doesn't know where he went. Bad, will he go to the going city of Sandora? I thought that the woman would sneer a few times, but from behind came the woman's awakened scream. What's going on? An intriguing look appeared on Chin Luo's face. The going city of Sandora, in the original setting, is a civilization 500 years ago that existed under the bean sprout. Ordinary people would never find it. There is such a relic. Could it be that this news was discovered by Golden Lion? Take me down, I want to stop him. He wants to destroy the historical text. That's a civilization 800 years ago. The silver-haired Olivia jumped anxiously. It was the most important historical research material for their fleet in the past 4 years. Without this relic, they would never know what happened to the world 800 years ago, and the most important thing is that this is the only thing his husband left her. Take you down. You called me a stinky pirate and a big pervert just now. Chin Luo said in a playful tone, folded his hands behind him, looking indifferent. Chin Luo was not in a hurry, because to enter the city of Going, he had to penetrate the ground clouds from the vines in the center of the Holy Land. This Golden Lion's ability is only that little, and it is estimated that it is not so fast to punch through clouds that are close to 300 meters. What do you want? Olivia's face was anxious and angry, and the piece of historical text above the Admiralty of Sandora below was a nautical chart that his husband recorded with blood 4 years ago, and they used this to sail to this point. The most precious thing she is now, she will never allow that stinky pirate to get its hands on it. As long as I solve this problem for you, you can give me a kiss. What do you think? This deal is fair. Chin Luo just wanted to disgust her, but this girl didn't give herself a good look, and kept calling what a pervert, a stinky pirate. You don't want to be aggressive. Olivia almost talked about the old lady again. Judging from the previous confrontation, the person in front of him is absolutely capable of above the Golden Lion, so when the time comes, go down and find the going city Sandora. It is estimated that it is also necessary to rely on Chin Luo's power to suppress the Golden Lion. Oh, then add another bear hug. Chin Luo's tone was lazy, as if Golden Lion ran away to steal going. It was a very common thing for him. You, shameless, get out of here. Olivia was so angry that someone could be shameless to the point of heinous. You told me to get out. If I get out of the way, I won't be able to get back. Chin Luo's face flashed with anger. He raised his hand and started to run away, ignoring the trouble of the woman in front of him. You finish this matter for me first, and I will consider it. Olivia's face changed, and she made a fierce struggle in her heart, and said decisively. As a historian Olivia who knows everything from time to time, she is naturally used to seeing ups and downs, and now the most important thing is to keep the piece of historical text that her husband left to her. What you said. Chin Luo was overjoyed, and a cheerful smile appeared on his face. Of course, what the other party saw was only Chin Luo's icy mask. Before Chin Luo finished speaking, he felt the earth tremble, and the hull under his feet rolled violently. Olivia, who could not be touched, screamed and fell to the ground. It seems that something is staring at the entire hull and rushing up frantically. Look, what is that? Is it a monster? Olivia was lying on the ground at the entrance and exit of the cabin. Naturally, with the help of the silver light, she could see the situation outside clearly, and the scene in front of her surprised her. The silver light shone down, and a black shadow that could cover a large gecko suddenly came over from the front of the ship. The shape was like a large long column, and it was beating with thunderous force, like the stormy waves encountered by the ship in a storm. Catch me. Chin Luo has fought countless battles and has already noticed the situation outside. The black shadow in front of him is more than 10 proportions larger than the IQ giant creatures just now. It looks more like. Chin Luo thought of a certain possibility, and quickly walked out of the cabin and came to the deck of the ship. Looking around, a thick living creature swaying in the sky, he did not know where this thick living creature led to the sky. At a glance, there is no end in sight. With such a figure, such a sky-reaching sky, there is only a huge vine that runs through the Baihai, and the Holy Land with a span of thousands of meters. And now, this huge vine has come alive like a living thing, and it is directly tyrannical as if it has been infected with IQ toxin, sweeping the surrounding Holy Land creatures, the Holy Land, the guide bird, the giant python, and other types. The creatures jumped in an instant. Under the silver brilliance, a chaotic thick smoke emerged from the Holy Land, and the long smoke billowed like a dragon, reaching the sky. Damn, Golden Lion, I have to grab you and rip you off. In front of Chin Luo's disbelief, a sturdy arm shot frequently, and the huge black shadow in front of him directly rolled down, facing Chin Luo. At this time, if Chin Luo gets out of the way, the strange ship in front of him will definitely be crushed into pieces by the huge branch of vines in front of him. The reality forces Chin Luo to stand there motionless, and use his body and huge the vine monster fight. Be careful. Olivia, who was lying at the door of the cabin, had a firm expression on her face, and she could clearly see the behemoth in front of her. Even though she knew that the man in front of her was facing the attack of the giant creature alone, she would definitely die, and she still did not scream. The big deal is death. Instead of being afraid, he reminded Chin Luo to be careful. Okay, Chin Luo said lightly, but he didn't argue with Olivia in front of him, didn't tell the other party that he could destroy this thing with one blow, but sincerely accepted the other party's concern. Chapter 345 I want to kill you, it's just a matter of breathing. Ha ha ha, is Lu Yun tearing apart your new little girlfriend? Suddenly a voice came from far to near, from the direction of the silver moon. Qin Luo took a closer look and saw an angry golden lion standing in the air beside the huge vine-living creature, the long knife on his feet gleaming. I'm sorry, Golden Lion, I was just discussing with her whether braised lion head is delicious or steamed lion head is delicious. I'm having a hard time deciding right now, so I'm here to ask you, Golden Lion. Qin Luo said with all his might. It's a mockery, treating the crazy IQ vines in front of him like a piece of air. Humph. Stop being sloppy here. I injected all the remaining 72 IQ hormones into this huge vine. The huge vine has no eyes and will not be under your control at all. The huge body will only crush you. Crushed to pieces. Golden Lion laughed wildly, and his face was full of madness. He injected the remaining 72 IQ hormones originally extracted from his ship doctor's research and development into this IQ creature. This huge vine has no eyes at all, so it will not under Qin Luo's control. This is also a secret that Golden Lion discovered after observing for a long time. After his IQ creature was controlled earlier, his eyes would have hexagram pupils like Qin Luo's eyes. Now he has activated an IQ creature without eyes. Control is out of the question. Why, the defeated generals, do you think the bigger you are, the more you think you can beat me? Qin Luo asked calmly, not ignoring the claws in front of him at all. This Golden Lion challenged Qin Luo's bottom line again and again. Qin Luo no longer intends to keep Golden Lion. The killing intent he revealed, even through the mask, made Golden Lion tremble. The former is not a joke, destroying the Holy Land, destroying the world government, any one thing can scare people to death. I won't gossip with you anymore, sir, I'm going to going. Golden Lion's face was angry. Nima Qin Luo is really strong. If there is a second way, Golden Lion will not be against Qin Luo, this man is horrible. I want to run. God of Flowing Cloud, hurry up and catch this man. As soon as he heard what the Golden Lion meant, he knew what he wanted to do. Ganfuer had a solemn look on his face. He had seen the Golden Lion's flying ability. Naturally, he also knew that the other party had arrogant capital. So it's better to start first. However, Qin Luo was indifferent when he heard it, as if a gust of wind was standing in the air. His eyes were calm, revealing a cold killing intent. Want to kill me? Ha ha, I'm afraid you won't have time to wait. Golden Lion ran all the way, turned all the way, showing a smug face. His face was full of, you dare not kill me, self-confidence, like the man who wins. While speaking, a pair of sly eyes glanced at the people who fell to the ground from time to time. Receiving the other party's prompt, Ganfu hurried to look at Angel Island, which is a few dozen meters below the floating island. Angel Island was broken and ruined everywhere, pedestrians were in a panic, and children were afraid to hug their heads and mice, screaming and screaming, one after another. It's so loud. Boom. The huge vine twisted its waist, and the clouds on the entire ground broke directly and a gap appeared. There were black cracks exposed on the gap, the ground tilted, and Lu Yun shook. A little girl was about to hold a big stupid bear. Escape, tremble, the whole person loses his center of gravity and rolls directly into the crack. Below is the blue sea. Everyone's heart tensed, and the people around them shrank their heads in fear, holding some small packages or their own little children, and scrambling to leave the huge vine that was ravaging madly. The cracks on the ground were one after another, like wild beasts, one by one, they devoured the streets of this lovely street one by one, as if they were looking for some important treasure. Golden Lion, don't fall into my hands, or I will completely dissipate you into the air. Golden Lion, you must live well and wait for me to kill you. With one eye exposed, Qin Luo saw people who had lost their relatives and partners running all over the place to tell each other and scrambling for the ground. He only felt the eye sockets were hot, and red threads flowed from the corners of his eyes, and the raging cold murderous intent gently around Qin Luo. This Golden Lion only cares about his own personal interests, and doesn't care about the lives of others. He is selfish and extremely cold-blooded. This person deserves to be thrown into the impel down. It's just some stupid people who died. Why are you nervous? Golden Lion saw Chen Luo's eyes. He was frightened, his eyes narrowed, and he took a few steps back, but he couldn't lose face. He just straightened his chest, stopped trembling, and shouted with his neck stuck. Lu Yun couldn't kill him at such a distance. Even if he wanted to kill him later, he would have to wait for him to completely eliminate the giant vine monster, otherwise, more ants would just die. However, he doesn't care about these ants. Stupid person, your low life is worthless in my eyes. You are an evil spirit, and each of their lives is pure and noble. And, Chen Luo's mouth showed a touch of addictiveness. Blood eyes are like looking out from 1,000 years of frost, giving people a cold and cruel feeling. Killing intent is solid. I want to destroy you, it is a matter of breathing. Chen Luo's eyes made Golden Lion go mad. He raised his hands above his head, waving his double pincers like a victorious crab. HMPH, Lu Yun, do you think you can completely ignore the lives of those people? The huge vine, as long as it turns over at random, it will be a catastrophic attack by the island cloud. The huge body falls to the ground, the island cloud shatters, and the entire the living place of God, as well as the Angel Island, Union Village, and Going City, will all become the ruins of Sky Island. Are you sure you want to kill me first? Golden Lion let out a sigh of relief, and his words made Ganfer deeply saddened. These are Ganfer's people, and he would be willing to let him die. Now these people are going through hardships. It's because he, the former god, did something wrong, because he didn't have the ability to save everyone and bring everyone a happy life. Lu Yun God, do you want to deal with the huge vine first? This thing is too big. Even if I cut him off by the middle, the huge vine can grow automatically. This is very scary. I observe, however, this huge vine is the pillar that runs through our Sky Island. If the pillar party falls, our Sky Island will be finished, the Holy Land will also be finished, and all the residents of the Fairy Island will have no place to stand. Ganfewer watched the life below, and suffered a violent massacre like a catastrophe, making him Ganfewer feel the discomfort of the spasms after waves of convulsions. He grabbed the corner of Chen Luo's clothes and prayed to Chen Luo to take action like a god. Chapter 346. Give you 30 seconds, run away. If that's the case, then when I lose half a chip, you've completely provoked me. Give you 30 seconds. Golden Lion, run as much as you like. This is the countdown to your death that I give you. You better keep it in your heart. Countdown 30 inside. The six-pointed star in Chen Luo's eyes flickered, and every time the six-pointed star instigated, it meant that the inner power began to spin wildly. This Golden Lion actually threatened Chen Luo with the life of a civilian. This is what Chen Luo hates the most. He hates others' threats to him the most. He will absolutely kill those who dare to threaten him. Chen Luo has a heart of compassion, and everyone has a heart of compassion. Back then, Chen Luo didn't punish the pirates who came to Fishman Island when they encountered a gust of wind and tsunami on Fishman Island. Instead, they used the world wall to block the huge tsunami directly from the outside. Ha ha ha, you are really good at telling jokes. When you make some deceiving jokes, don't you have a little bit of arrogance in your heart? When have you ever seen such a big vine, directly running through the Beihai? 30 seconds to solve. Don't laugh at my oppression. Golden Lion seems to have heard the funniest joke of the century. Yes, that's right. You Lu Yun beat him Golden Lion to pieces, and you were conspired by the other party to plot against yourself with Marine, throwing yourself into impel down, but that it doesn't mean that your Lu Yun God is invincible. IQ plant that looks like a disaster, you must be helpless. Golden Lion couldn't stop laughing. You, Lu Yunshan, calls yourself a god, but you think you are invincible. Can you fight against the sky? Do you know how vast the sky is? Lu Yun, let's save people first. Pierre, who was on Ganfort's mount, took 2 steps back tightly, timid, and the huge IQ monster in front of him was too big. There were 300 or 400. The height of meters is simply not something that manpower can resist. So Ganfewer said this, In fact, he wanted Qin to go down a step, not to bet with the so-called Golden Lion villain, so that he lost face and made Golden Lion a little more prestige. After all, if you want to solve a behemoth in 30 seconds, unless there is any energy that can instantly turn this IQ creature into a piece of dust. But if it suddenly turns into a piece of powder, the entire Sky Island Foundation will not be destroyed, and it will directly become a ruin. This is an impossible paradox. Even if Qin Luoshou's ability to reach the sky explodes, it is impossible to solve the problem in front of him perfectly. He can only slowly repair the IQ plant to support the Sky Island and not fall. 30 seconds has begun. Golden Lion, I will only give you 30 seconds. Run away as much as you like. Qin Luo's ethereal voice recalled in midair, making Golden Lion's neck feel half cool. There was a kind of an indescribable feeling of depression, like the feeling of death's scythe on his neck once again. Golden Lion, who was originally slapped with a swollen face and made a fat man, couldn't help but run wild. 1, 2, 3. The more Golden Lion didn't want to think about it, but his mind became more and more uncontrollably like counting down the seconds. Golden Lion now only feels that he is doing the most correct thing, not a very honorable thing. From Qin Luo to destroy the Holy Land, kill Gorosei, 5 elders, destroy the world government, which one thing is not true. Therefore, it is better to believe that there is something or not. He ran wildly, jumped into the space where the huge vine was twisted and squeezed out by the activation of IQ hormone, and jumped into the fast shortcut to the city of Sandora. In order to survive, he risked his own honor. Golden Lion, I only give you 30 seconds. Go run away as much as you like. Qin Luo's ethereal voice floated in the air gently, chasing someone away like a 30-second nightmare, but after 30 seconds of nightmare, I'm afraid it will be the cruelest reality. God's realm wall is coming. Qin Luo groaned, his eyes fixed on the behemoth in front of him. The corners of his mouth twitched, disappearing in the blink of an eye, and appearing in midair in the next instant. 2 seconds have passed. System. Yes, Master, what are your orders? Exchange for 4 pieces of God's boundary wall. 4 walls of the God realm. What do you want to do? Divide the sky in 2. Aren't you the system? Why are there so many problems? Yes, I'm talking too much. 1 piece of God's boundary wall consumes 1,000 points, and 4 pieces consumes 4,000 points in total. Would you like to exchange it? Exchange. 10 seconds passed. God's boundary wall, come. God's boundary wall, come. God's boundary wall, come. God's boundary wall, come. Qin Luo roared 4 times. At this time, with the huge vine as the center, 4 walls of the God's boundary that penetrated the sky and the earth appeared in the 4 quadrants. Such a God's boundary wall once appeared on Fishman Island. To save those pirates who were about to be blown away by the tsunami, this time Qin Luo was used to contain this almost catastrophic behemoth. 14 seconds. The 4 God boundary walls are rapidly impacting each other from 4 directions, pulled by Qin Luo's spiritual power. Their God boundary walls can properly shrink each other's bodies through different environmental changes. The whole body has the same name, invisible. No one knew what Qin Luo was doing with his teeth and claws in the air. 17 seconds. God's boundary wall, come. Change at will, heaven and earth unite. A booming sound that resounded through the heavens and the earth shot out from Qin Luo's mouth. The ending of the word, A, was infinitely prolonged, as clear and bright as the last beat of the morning bell and the evening drum. It was bound to be preserved in the world with the most beautiful notes in the world, and the reverberation lingered around the beams. It's finally gone. 19 seconds. Bump. The huge IQ-activated vines desperately tried to struggle, twisting the huge body, trying to break free from the invisible 2.1 bondage between the inexplicable heaven and earth, and the 4 boundary walls slammed into it. However, it was just a sound, and it did not affect the process of any great figure in the God's boundary wall opening up a new world. 20 seconds. Then, what is that, and why does the dreaded vine seem to stop? It's weird, that huge vine will also have an unmatched huge torque. It seems that it really can't move now. Ah, we're saved. We're alive. Is this a miracle of nature? It's unimaginable that a living creature that reaches the sky can stand upright. It's amazing, even if it is dead, it will lie down, right? Yeah, it's standing now, and it's right in front of us. Chapter 347. Are you a human or a ghost? The crowd cheered, and in just 20 seconds, they witnessed an incredible miracle. Originally, all of them were holding some snacks and preparing to store them. Some were pulling their children to escape, and some were pulling the clothes of those who not only fell. However, in an instant, in just 20 seconds, the irritable IQ biological tree came to a standstill, not like death, but more like a god casting some kind of magical technique, like a fixed spell, to put the IQ creature on the ground. Defined in an instant. Luyun, you are truly our god. I want to resign, and I want to enshrine you as our god. The supreme god of our angel race. The happiest among them is undoubtedly Ganfuer. His lifelong goal is to dedicate his life to the people on Sky Island. In the end, he still wants to let his people live a happy life. Now Chin Luo is doing his best. Time is a miracle, how could he not be convinced? Hearing Ganfuer's heartfelt words that the whole world is for the public, Chin Luo just chuckled, and the eyes of the six-pointed star exposed in the air flickered again, which meant that he was staring at Chin Luo again. The prey is the stinky lion that keeps running. Seeing this scene in Ganfuer's eyes, his whole body trembled for no reason. Chin Luo's eye was enough to shock all the ghosts in the world. 20, 21, 22. Golden Lion was still running fast. He was about to pass through the sea of clouds from Beibei. Due to the twisting of the huge vines, a gap was directly torn open, and the sea water crashed. The influx from Beibei was like a black hole in the universe, and the surrounding matter was being sucked out crazily. Golden Lion passed through the gap. In just 25 seconds, he had already crossed the White Sea and appeared above the White Sea. As long as he pierced into the White Sea once again, he also passed through the crack, according to the gourd painted the scoop, rushed in, and within 5 seconds, he could reach the going city of Sandora. Then use the flying fruit to float the historical text into the air, follow him, and deceive Chin Luo by the way. He will come back and take the Olivia away, unlock the historical text, and find the ancient weapon of Hades. Send Marine to Wangyu Paradise, from then on to the pinnacle of life, marry Bai Fumei. Golden Lion shook off the thoughts in his mind, walked like a fly, and quickly pierced through the dark gap, and the figure quickly disappeared. Suddenly, just 6 seconds later, from the dark gap Golden Lion jumped into, a scream suddenly came out, ah! Are you a human or a ghost? Don't come near me, don't come near me. You are not dead Luyun, you are not Luyun, you are really not Luyun. Before and after, I heard Golden Lion's ghost-like roar, his voice was piercing like a fierce metal cut, and there was a heart-pounding vibrato behind each pop, and for a time, it was as if the scythe of the god of death was attached to his neck. With this hoarse cry, a black shadow flashed out of it as fast as lightning, stood still and landed near the gap, all over the face, the blonde hair on the shoulders was shivering, and the fingers were twitching quickly. I don't know if it wasn't because of excessive fright that an unhealthy paleness appeared on his entire face. Golden Lion who just fell into it. He no longer has the arrogance he had before, but instead has a deep-rooted fear. Impossible, it can't be him. He couldn't have cleaned up that behemoth in less than 30 seconds. I don't believe it. It must be Luyun who gave up the thousands of Sky Island refugees just to chase and kill me. Luyun, you lost, you failed. What else did he want to say? His throat suddenly became cold, and his Adam's apple could no longer roll. He opened his pupils suddenly, and a clear figure shone in his crystal pupils. The man was wearing a cold-blooded mask and a black robe on his body. Clouds rolled on it and came from the darkness, just like the god of death who came out of the palace of hell to ask for his life, even though there was always a smile on the corner of the man's mouth. But Golden Lion still felt that his whole body was locked by a strong murderous intent. Luyun, you, what do you want to do? Golden Lion said from the slit of his throat. The words of Golden Lion made Chen Luo feel sick for a while. The person in front of him was trying to achieve his goals without compromise. If he didn't have the full level system bonus, I'm afraid that the immortals of Sky Island would become refugees, and the casualties would definitely not be less than half. He was despicable and shameless, cruel and cruel. I'm afraid even Xia Sheng Zhou Fusheng would not be able to match this person. Making Chen Luo indignant, Chen Luo gritted his teeth and said, I didn't tell you earlier, I want to do it. What? Say what? Chen Luo's words were like an ice knife stabbing into Golden Lion's heart. Even through that big mask, one could feel Chen Luo's suffocating killing intent. Golden Lion didn't dare to recall the last sentence Chen Luo said just now. It was a sentence that was as deadly as the name written in the death note. Makes it unbearable. I said, I will only give you 30 seconds to escape, but obviously you didn't cherish it. Chen Luo laughed in anger. Such a despicable villain. Even I was pretending to be crazy and foolish to myself, pretending not to listen to 320. It's 25 seconds. Tell me your last words. Chen Luo said coldly, his whole body exuding an unstoppable coldness. No, I'll give you whatever you want. The expression on Golden Lion's face changed. The iron hoop-like arm around his neck was pinching his throat, pressing it down. He couldn't breathe out. A few words were still uttered intermittently. The Golden Lion fell into Chen Luo's hands like a chicken, and the latter showed a hint of evil charm, and cold and stiff words came out of Chen Luo's mouth. Tell me, how much your life is worth. You can offer a price. Quote. Chapter 3 of the Law. First, the rest of your life already belongs to me. Second, you are the little brother on my boat. You are a member of my flowing cloud pirates. Third, you must obey my orders in the future and claim to be my flowing cloud pirates. The regiment's chores. Chen Luo just wanted to see if there was anything good in the Golden Lion's mouth. Before, Golden Lion had already worked as a handyman on the air pirate ship. When Golden Lion heard it, the conditions he was going to talk about, how many devil fruits and how many gold and silver beauties were given, but being scolded by Chen Luo like this, seemed to have no meaning or value in an instant. In Chen Luo's eyes, it was food. Set him Golden Lion. Chapter 348. What, do you have any other options? You look like a dog, and there's nothing good in your mouth. I'll teach you directly, just follow me. Chen Luo showed a smile. If he killed Golden Lion with one knife, it would be too cheap. Shameless, it would be better to think of a good strategy. Let him distinguish between good and evil clearly. I am willing to follow the captain in life and death. Be a cow and a horse. The captain told me to go east, never go west. For the captain, I wish live and brainless. Follow the captain as a cow and a horse for the rest of your life. Quote. There is no reason to bargain when Golden Lion is strangled by the neck. Besides, Chen Luo didn't kill him, so he could get a chance to survive by shouting like this, so why not do it? Raising his voice, Righteousness shouted, I am willing to follow. Captain, are you satisfied now? Golden Lion restrained the sullenness he had just a moment ago, behaved calmly, loosened Chen Luo's fingers, and made himself feel more comfortable when speaking. If Golden Lion knew that the huge vines were directly sealed by Chen Luo, I was afraid that he would not dare to breathe. Well, yes, you can tie these ropes yourself. Chen Luo said in a low voice, as if he was telling a fact. His voice was calm but full of doubts, and he shook his hand to exchange the rope with the system. Throwing it on the ground, the sound directly made the listener's whole body tremble. Golden Lion's eyes jumped, and a thin sweat crystal oozes from his palm. What, do you have any other choice? Chen Luo didn't even look at Golden Lion, and kicked the rope on the ground with his foot, which meant the most obvious. Golden Lion's face darkened and he was confused. He didn't know what medicine Chen Luo's gourd was selling. Wouldn't he want to arrest him and sell it? Asked timidly, what is this asking me to do? Is this what you should ask? Chen Luo raised his head and raised his chest. Without looking at Golden Lion, he crossed his hands on his chest, looking very much like the arrogant red eunuch beside the emperor who passed the imperial decree. No, 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 Captain, Xing Xing, I bound my hands. Golden Lion, who was about to ask Chen Luo's nostrils, saw Chen Luo throw a killing intent on him. The corners of his mouth were not easy, and he agreed. After putting on the ropes, Golden Lion's face was full of humiliation. He hated it. He hated Chen Luo for such a sinister trick. This shameful thing was really more uncomfortable than killing him. The Golden Lion's expression made Chen Luo glance at him, but his brows wrinkled. Look at you, you can't even tie a prisoner. You tied your hands so loosely, where are you tying yourself? The mistakes you made leave a way out, come on, let me help you. Quote. Chen Luo almost didn't burst out laughing. Why was the Golden Lion in front of him so afraid of death, so why did he give it away? This is definitely not the same person as the rebellious and unruly Golden Lion in his memory. The corner of Chen Luo's mouth showed a conspiracy success, which was like selling the Golden Lion directly. Golden Lion is suffering. He originally just cooperated with Chen Luo to make a play, and he had no idea, but when he saw Chen Luo put these things directly in his hands, the expression on his face in an instant, it turned pale, and the strength in the body was continuously lost as if a gap had been stabbed. Okay, Golden Lion, if you really want to submit to my flowing cloud pirates, please tie your hands to the people of Sky Island to repent and ask for their forgiveness. Oh, I didn't expect you to be so sincere. He even used Seastone's rope to bind his hands. Chen Luo said with his hands on his chest. His voice was still flat, facing Golden Lion being so miserably tricked by him. It seemed that he had done something that had nothing to do with him. When Golden Lion heard Seastone's legs soften, his life was over, and he didn't even know how he got hooked on Seastone. Chen Luo was never moved by him from the very beginning, and Chen Luo planned to plot against him from the very beginning. There is a fire in my heart. The knocked-out teeth can only be swallowed in the stomach. He wanted to take a step forward to question Chen Luo, and couldn't help but want to hold Chen Luo and ask why. Chen Luo put his hand on his arm and said in surprise, "You said you want to ask Ying to apologize to those islanders. That's great. I'll take you up right now." No, no. Golden Lion's guts are turning green. When did he say that he was going to take the initiative to ask for help? Those weak people lost their minds in the war and could only become slaves of anger, controlled by their emotions, and so on. For them, I'm afraid they will be swallowed alive by these lunatics. Put me down. A white light suddenly flashed in the air. Pierre's long voice was stretched in the air, and when he heard a coquettish shout in the air, Chen Luo was indifferent, just raised his head easily and glanced at the voice in the air. That figure. Stinky pirates, oh, did you end up as a group? You two are still trying to lie to us outside, and you two are here to run in. Run away alone. Pierre sat behind him, an old man in silver armor, Ganfer, and another Olivia in jeans and a white t-shirt, swearing at a stinky pirate, as if he had seen a thief who was in trouble. You mean Sandora? Chen Luo calmly spoke about the city of Sandora, which Olivia reveres so much. While speaking, he raised his eyes slightly. Pierre was stared at by Chen Luo's eyes. A horse raised its foot and neighed in midair, and its hind legs couldn't help but backed up, and the two people on the horse's back almost fell from the air. Okay, stinky hooligans, stinky pirates, you really are a group. Going who wants to steal our Sky Island islanders? Ganfer, as the god of Sky Island, are you obliged to expel these two people? Get out. Olivia roared with righteous indignation and raised the Hegan fire gun that had no medicinal pills in her hand to face Chen Luo and Golden Lion. These two people had already exchanged news with each other, and they must have planned it long ago, wanting to swallow Sandora alone, these two going thieves. Ganfer, do you want to kill me? Chen Luo showed an intriguing smile. With this chuckle, the eyes on his face slowly swept over Ganfer's face, like a blade of light passing through the moon's rays. The brilliance reflected on the man's face, and Ganfu's stunned face showed a hint of panic. Killed the god of flowing clouds. Could it be that he Ganfort is blind? He just saw with his own eyes how Lu Yunshin blocked the vines and controlled more than 30 IQ giant creatures. Even if Ganfuer had 100 lives, he was afraid that he would be swept away by the opponent. 1 kill and 100 kills mean the same thing. Hey, stinky pirate, are you guilty and don't dare to face me? Olivia hates this kind of person the most, robber. They collude secretly, they can't win against others on the surface, and they always make small moves behind their backs. He grabbed the Hegan fire gun in his hand and aimed at Qin Luo. Chapter 349 Shrew. I have a guilty conscience. Qin Luoqing showed a charming smile at the corner of his mouth. His blood-red pupils flickered, and in his pupils there was a savage woman who was not afraid of the sky and the earth. The smell of bloodthirsty came out spontaneously. I don't want to talk to you, a shrew. Toad likes his mother's toad, so why don't you want to reason with Toad? You, who are you calling a shrew? You are a stinky pirate, stinky rascal. I don't want to talk nonsense to a person like you. Olivia exploded with rage, and the Hegan fire gun in her hand was buckled. If it hits straight, people are shameless and invincible. If there are still bullets in the musket, it is guaranteed that this person will be beaten into a sifter. However, he didn't know that if Qin Luo wanted to make a move, even the artillery couldn't stop him. You didn't say that when you begged me to take you down to Sandora. You said you wanted to kiss me, and then you asked me to give you a hug. I reluctantly agreed to give you a kiss. Hug. You lied, I didn't want to kiss you, and I didn't let you. Okay, you're a rogue. If you don't fulfill what you said, you're a rogue, and you're still talking about me here. If you want to go down to Sandola, you can go down by yourself. I'll tell you, it's a few kilometers below. At the height of 517, you have to go down by yourself to ensure that your hand will be shattered and turned into a piece of garbage. Quote. Qin Luo glared at Ganfuer with his eyes, raised his finger to point at Ganfuer and said, Don't take her down, or I promise not to let you and Pierre go. After he finished speaking, Qin Luo took a step towards the sky, rose into the sky, turned into a streamer and headed towards the bye-bye high above his head. He didn't worry that Olivia would really go down alone, otherwise she would not want to live, and she would fall. Kill her. God, send me down, I'll be fine, I just want to see the historical text that my husband instructed me to come and see. Olivia's face was full of pleading, and the musket in her hand had long since been abandoned. There is only one piece of sincerity, which is a deep memory of his husband. 34 of them set out from O'Hara 4 years ago to find clues left to them by his late husband, telling them that the darkness would guide them to going into Sky Island, where they could see the historical text. Miss Olivia, Ganfuer felt agitated when he heard Qin Luo's warning just now. It's too unlucky. The life-saving grace of the islanders, even if he had 100 courage, he would not dare to bet on the lives of the islanders of Sky Island. It's not that I won't help you. It's just that Lu Yunshin is kind to me, the people of Shandao. I cannot go against his will. I don't know what Qin Luo thinks, isn't it just a few pieces of going? Why don't you want to let Miss Olivia get her hands on it? No, God, please listen to me, I am definitely not those thieves. For my own selfish desires, I am to see the historical text that has been preserved for more than 400 years. Our professors in O'Hara have a conscience. Professor, our conscience has received the guidance of our noble soul, and we will never destroy cultural relics for our own selfish desires. We will tell the world the era of history that was erased 800 years ago. At that time, you will be our notice the important helper of the world. Olivia persuaded earnestly, and put her hands on Ganfuer's body, wanting to make Ganfuer make up her mind to deal with this problem, but soon he found out that the problem was wrong, because Ganfuer was shaking all over. Seems very scared. Olivia, do your best, let me go back to Beibaihai. Even if I have 100 courage, I would not dare to do anything rebellious to that person. Ganfuer hurriedly shook his head. Bite for 10 years and push Olivia away like a rope. Olivia's face was covered with dark clouds, and it would turn into a storm at any time. The Hegan fire gun handle in her hand was forcibly released by Olivia, and a few blue veins appeared on her wheat-colored skin, like a small snake suddenly appearing. Just like Olivia's irritable mood. She quickly walked a few steps over and glanced at the abyss below. It was bottomless. It was very close to the blue sea, that is to say, after passing through the current layer, she might fall directly into it. In blue sea, as a learned person, as O'Hara's professor, she knew what to do. Okay, God, please take me up. I'll let that rogue take me up myself. Olivia jumped up on Pierre's back carelessly, ignoring the opinions of the other masters, leaving Ganfort behind with a blank face on the ground. Ganfort's heart collapsed. This chick is too arrogant, and Pierre is too cowardly. Pierre put his head on Olivia's chest quite humanly, squeezing the flesh, so uncomfortable. If Chin Luo is here, he must put his ears folding it up. This guy's ears were put on someone else's flesh. There was helplessness on Ganfort's face, and he cleared his mind and sat on Pierre. Pierre, like a cheerful rabbit, fled away with a bang. The clouds soared, and the snow-white clouds on both sides quickly receded from both sides. It took almost half an hour to arrive at Angel Island. The top of Angel Island was in shambles, with broken walls and debris everywhere, and the compressed clouds were torn apart piece by piece, flying in the air like cotton wool. However, the people living here did not feel any sense of frustration, but cheered. This group of people is crazy. There's no family left, so they are still so happy. God, have your people suffered a collective stroke? Olivia was hot-tempered. Her mind was full of adventure factors, and she saw decadence everywhere. There was not even the slightest sadness, but instead, he came to be surprised at the reason why the people of the massive Sky Island gathered in front of him. Sky Island people who had escaped the disaster appeared in his vision, waving their arms in their hands, holding all kinds of goings incessantly. Shaking and hawking. Listening to their voices seems to say, me. I want to exchange. If a modern person sees it, he will definitely think that this group of people is buying lottery tickets collectively, or that some bullshit has successfully incited those aunts and aunts. Look, isn't that stinky pirate on that high platform? Why is he called the going head tax? It's really abominable. Come, wait for me to go up and shoot him. Olivia's eyes spit fire. Pierre flew straight out, and even Ganfort didn't have time to stop Olivia. So Olivia rode Pierre and single-handedly came to the stage to assassinate Chin Luo. Chapter 350 Auction Golden Lion. Chin Luo jumped onto the high platform while hanging the golden lion who made all this into ruins at this moment. He still had a look of flattery and humiliation on his face. And threw it under the high platform where Chin Luo was. People were attracted by this weird action. Everyone liked to watch the fun, even the people on Sky Island were no exception. They gradually gathered around and wanted to find out. Gosh, that man looks familiar. How could he be tied? I remember, this guy is the guy who dropped those monsters in our air. This guy ruined my house. I'm going to kill him. He has the ability to penetrate the sky. Don't rashly approach. Isn't it tied with both hands? At this time, a desolate citizen of Shandao who was relatively close to the test, clenched the fist in his hand, took a step forward, and punched the opponent directly. His fist fell on the opponent's chest, let him have an unreal feeling. Wow! Golden Lion weakly opened his bloody mouth, hating Chin Luo to the bone, and swore that you would kill Chin Luo's whole family when he got out of trouble. Even if Chin Luo can't be killed, he must kill Chin Luo's partners and his girlfriends. Ah, it was the god of Flowing Cloud who caught this heinous man, and god of Flowing Cloud who saved us from the disaster. He took the lives of our Sky Islanders. Let's cheer together, god of Flowing Cloud. Lu Yun God. Lu Yun God. People cheered wildly. Lu Yunshan is really a deity that deserves its name in their hearts. When the huge vines were about to come alive and tyrannical, Lu Yunshan actually summoned the four walls of the gods. In one fell swoop, the crisis was resolved, and the Sky Island was protected from destruction. Such people are not gods, so who can be gods? Lu Yun God, please let us make a full-body portrait of you, and then build a Lu Yun temple, and enjoy the incense of the people of Sky Island from generation to generation, immortal. Yeah, let's build a temple and enshrine the statue of Luyun God. The crowd once again pushed their worship to the peak. The name of Luyun will be resounding in every corner of Sky Island from now on. Even the man who later claimed to have the strongest Logia fruit, Guro Guro no Mi, Rumble Rumble fruit, did not dare to disturb the god of flowing clouds, let alone approach within 100 meters of the Temple of Flowing Clouds. This is a later story, not for the time being. At this moment, Chin Luo shouted from the top of the stage. Fathers and fellow villagers, this person's name is Golden Lion. Chin Luo on the high platform had a sincere sense of joy. He took a step forward and saw that someone had already started to move. His eyes were full of smiles. He told me with a smile. I said that he deeply recognized his previous mistakes, and made him feel deeply guilty. He was condemned by his conscience and had trouble sleeping, so he decided to auction himself on the street. He can be an excellent slave, do housework and look after children, everything, especially as a thug, is very powerful. Do you have any intention of auctioning him? He swears that he will definitely reform himself. As soon as Chin Luo's voice fell, the crowd began to whisper, and after a few seconds, it turned into a high-pitched talk, loud and noisy, and the speech was very loud for a while. God, isn't that true? This person is extremely sinful. He must have done a lot of wrong things in his life. In the end, he was influenced by our Luyun god and bowed his head and was willing to be a rude cow. It's not uncommon for such things to happen. I still don't quite believe it. Could someone do this? If you beat someone, would you feel bad about your conscience and sell yourself? But now that person is bound by Luyun god like this, isn't he a slave? Even if we buy it back and can't let him do housework, we can use him as a sandbag. There are many people in the crowd who have seen through the inside information of this auction. That is, the tied decadent Golden Lion was tied up to the stage, and then got such an end. They don't have to make him a slave or something. Just use it as a sandbag. One person punches one punch, and it's good to have fun. Although Golden Lion was bound by seastone, his body's energy was continuously lost, and his whole body was weak, but this did not mean that his ears were deaf, and he heard these rubbish trash shouting to smash him into corpses. Do on, how, let him suddenly get angry, and his heart is about to breathe fire. If someone loosens him now, he promises to kill all of them. Throw him in the air and let him free fall to his death. The hatred for Chin Luo is even more speechless. Chin Luo actually auctioned it off and built his own temple. Upon hearing this, Golden Lion almost fainted. If he had known this, he would not have come to provoke this fearful, ghostly man. Everyone, be quiet. Chin Luo and Bibi frowned. If this Golden Lion is still so angry, with a beard and staring eyes, it won't be able to sell for a good price. I'm afraid it won't even be able to afford a temple. To make a full body going portrait, I'm afraid it would take 200 pounds of going to say the least. If you want to talk about the best players in the world, except for me, Golden Lion can take the third place in the top 3 in the world. It's not a master. Now the auction will officially start. Everyone hurry up and make a bid. You can make money when you buy it. Arrived. Multiple people can also make a joint bid. All the going raised from this conference will be used to build the Temple of Floating Clouds. Quote. 0. Chin Luo calculated, the most powerful people in the world are Whitebeard, the Red Earl, and the rest can only be regarded as the third Golden Lion, and it can be regarded as a character. With frivolous eyebrows and a well-mannered mouth, the host of the auction pushed the atmosphere of the scene to a climax again. Flowing Cloud God. Flowing Cloud God. The auction starts now. The starting price is 10 pounds of going. Each time the increase is not less than 1 kilogram of going. There is no cap on this auction. Golden Lion himself is absolutely very cost-effective, and if you buy it, you will earn it. You can't buy 10 pounds of going. You can't be fooled. Chin Luo said angrily. The atmosphere at the scene was too lively, and he didn't even start to call for quotations. Everyone started to raise money to buy Golden Lion and go home as a slave. 11 pounds of going. I'm going to buy it home to get on and off the horse as a stepping stone. Lure, is 11 going too shabby? Add 5 pounds of going to me. 15 pounds of going. Hi Dafu, you actually underestimate your uncle. I just gave you a chance to bid. I want to increase the price, 30 pounds of going. If you have extra, just buy a little iron and come back and make one next to Luyun God. Kneeling bad guy Golden Lion. Going for 30 pounds once. Twice. Chin Luo's expression was sluggish. He didn't expect that in just 5 seconds, it had soared to 30 pounds of going. This figure is still rising, maybe it will turn over dozens of pounds. Times. Ah, this fierce warrior, add 10 pounds of going. It's a big deal. Going is 40 pounds. Excuse me, there is no higher. Chapter 351 never said to give money. Lure, remember it for me. Even if I go bankrupt, I will buy it, 70 pounds of going. I'll double it. A man in the crowd called out with a wretched gaze. I'm 100 pounds going. Me, 111 pounds. Xiao Lure and Hai Dafu, let me get out of the way. I don't want my wife anymore, 200 caddies of going. Let's see who dares to argue with me, I'll never let you go with my axe. This hero is really generous. 200 caddies of going. May I ask if there are any higher? If not, this hero can go back to torture the perverted killer Golden Lion to his heart's content. 200 caddies of going once, 200 jinns going twice. Well, it becomes. Wait. At this time, a coquettish shout fell from the sky, and a white light passed in front of everyone. The speed was so fast that the naked eye could only see the white clouds, but they could hear the white clouds arrogant and coquettish. Start again, 210 pounds of going, I bought it. 210 pounds of going. My darling, this person is not rich, but he must love our great Luyun God. It's incredible, this man offended Jerry the Axe. Who the hell dares to rob me of Jared's business? The explosion sounded out of thin air. The axe, knife, lightsaber and shadow in his hand reflected sharply. He saw a fat brain, with huge and powerful wings spread behind his back. His eyes looked up to speak. Direction of the person. There was a commotion in the crowd, and it was unimaginable that someone was willing to pay like this. Going 210 pounds was enough to smash someone to death. And dare to challenge this axe Jerry. Who the fuck dares to rob me? Get out of here. If you want to buy this stinky lion, you have to step over me. Anyone who wants to move him has to ask my axe. Jia Rui raised his head high and said, the axe pointed straight into the sky, hockey stern. 2 figures fell from the sky, one old and one young, one man and one woman. The man's silver helmet is like a silver sky knight, and the other is a full-body hunting suit, with a shotgun in his hand, the muzzle it's facing Jerry right now. Jerry's brows knitted together, sweat quickly seeped out of his forehead, and his heart twitched for no reason. His face immediately turned into a speechless purple swelling. Although Jerry is a rough man, it does not mean that he has not seen a few fierce people. Of course, Lu Yunshan does not need to say. The man wearing a silver helmet in front of them does not know any of them. This person is Ganfu. You. Why, you want to duel me? Ganfu was as taciturn as always, as steady and deep as a god, but the woman behind him was filled with righteous indignation. Olivia's fiery temper exploded directly, and Hegan fire gun, from his own hands it was lifted and dropped into his hand, with a thumping sound. As soon as he rushed up from below, he heard Chin Luo, who pretended to sell his partner here, and then let everyone revel, and then secretly fell into Sandora and stole the going inside. Go and steal the historical inscriptions inside. Although Olivia is not a righteous and awe-inspiring Taoist priest, but if she dares to deal with her as a fool, she will definitely let the other party know who is the real fool. And when he was getting angry, there was a big fat man with 5 shorts and 3 thicks pulling an axe and pretending to be ruthless, and caught up with Olivia's shotgun. He dared someone to deal with him like this. Naturally, he would never let his guard down, and then let him. This person becomes a small part of himself, which is absolutely not acceptable. Little fat man, you said that your axe is very powerful. It's still my mother, and now I will abolish your little dick. If my mother said 210 pounds of going, it is only 210 pounds of going. Do you dare not sell it to me? If you have the ability, tell me another word. Olivia's cheeks were frosty, and the Hegan fire gun in her hand seemed to hurt people at any time, with a set of intimidating postures. Yes. Jerry the axe was sweating profusely. When he saw the figure, his whole body shuddered. He only felt that a bayonet had been slashed on his back, the kind of bayonet hanging on his back. The axe. Jerry couldn't help but packed up the axe in his hand. You think so too? Then admit your mistake. Don't hesitate. What a man. Olivia's cheeks were flushed, her neck was straight and sturdy, and the corner of her eyes was staring at the biggest one for a moment. The prisoner, Chin Luo, this person caught a pirate and sold it. Does this mean that he is standing with the immortals? Yes, it's God. I'm leaving now. I don't dare to disturb you, God Ganfer. Jerry didn't notice that there was a woman in front of him at all. From the moment he made eye contact with the previous Shengon Foer, I couldn't help trembling all over my body, as if I had added you to a demon from hell, and I didn't dare to disobey that God's instructions at all. Ha! Shameless, especially shameless. I don't know who he is talking about. Chin Luo, who was the guest host with Mike Style on the high stage, showed a beautiful tooth, and one of the exposed eyes flashed like a gecko. A moment. Hey, stop. Olivia's cheeks were on fire, and she still didn't understand that Olivia was a fool. This person actually feared the god behind him, not an ordinary person like her. He wanted to hold the fat man and get back to the place, but he soon failed. The fat man had long since disappeared. Hello, this lady, just now you called out 210 pounds of going. Do you have your going with you? With a wicked look on the corner of his mouth, Chin Luo walked away from his host as he said it. He came down and landed next to Olivia, moving like a rabbit, and came to Olivia's side almost instantly. The latter only felt a gust of wind blowing across his cheeks, rubbed his eyes, opened his eyes again, and saw a delicate and angular face in front of him. Go away. The old lady didn't say she wanted to give money. Chin Luo was so frightened that Olivia came to the top of her throat, and was almost scared to death by the elusive person. Oh, you actually came down and grabbed me. You are clearly setting up a pit. I won't cheat on you. Our auctions are fair and equitable, and everyone present has the ability to bid, as long as she can afford it. At this time, several enthusiastic people around raised their fingers, pointing at those people. Quiet. Chin Luo's tone was indifferent. Although his voice was not very loud, he was able to use his energy to compress those voices into everyone's ears. This is how vigorous it is to be able to make the rest of the people feel the same. Clear and audible. Why, do you want to default on the debt? Chin Luo knew what the hell was in Olivia's mind as soon as he heard it. The corners of his mouth were clear, and a harsher word was highlighted, so that the latter had no way out. Chapter 352 Capture Your Heart. Sure enough, as soon as these words came out, the silent voice of the scene turned into a bloody storm, which made people feel extremely depressed. How could I default on my debt? I'm that kind of person. Olivia was so angry that she didn't know how Chin Luo, who was in front of her, insulted herself so much in front of so many people. You said, did this woman deliberately prevent us from building the Hall of Floating Clouds? This person is not our immortal people of Shandao, right? Look at the attire of this barbarian woman. It looks like a pirate from the Blue Sea. Maybe it is the same as the Blue Sea pirate on the stage. Yeah, this person must have gone all the way, or why would he have to pay a high price to interrupt Jerry to buy the golden lion in front of him? He must be worried about his companion, who was beaten violently after being bought by Jerry. That's how you become famous and want to save it. In this case, she is guilty. She is a Blue Sea pirate. She is a vicious person and should be punished by God. Let's build a boat. Then put this person on the boat and let him live in these 17 pieces of CNC. Drift. For a while, the shouting people in the crowd stood on the commanding heights of nationalism, and instantly regarded the relatively innocent Olivia as a vicious Blue Sea pirate with a Hegan fire gun in his hand. To be punished by God and exiled. You must know that there are many giant piranhas in the Sea of Clouds, and there are many invisible undercurrents. As long as one is not careful, or there is no food for several months, people will inevitably die. I don't know if you or Lao lie, but a black light flashed, and Olivia only felt that the front of her was dark, and there was a figure in front of her, black robes on her body, and clouds rolled, only to hear his voice getting louder and louder. The smaller, as fine as a gnat, the person drifted away again. Boom. In the dark night, a thunderstorm poured down instantly, symbolizing a grand cry washing the broken walls and ruins here, and the pea-sized raindrops fell to the ground, splashing a splash of water on the low-lying part of the ground. Blue Yunshin, because of such a rain. This huge rainstorm was tearing down, as if the bad luck that everyone here experienced today was washed away in this exaggerated rainstorm. Hurt. Hesitant. Their homeland was almost destroyed by a flying island that came from nowhere. Even so, their homeland had been destroyed and shattered. Someone fell into a dark cave and never got up again. Yes, some people were eaten by the man-eating tree, and they didn't even take a breath. They were angry. Angry at the pirates who came from the Blue Sea. It was they who slaughtered their relatives and took their lives. Therefore, as long as they identify who is a pirate from Blue Sea at this time, they will definitely be unable to control their own emotions, and their broken emotions will turn them into bloodthirsty lone wolves. Only by tearing up the enemy will they find a little comfort in their hearts. The rain fell, as if the sky was holding a grand memorial service for those who did not return home before sunset. Kill her. Blue Sea pirates can't stay alone. The crowd was raging. This sentence first burst out from the mouth of a young and angry teenager, and then turned into a slogan, and became the target of a group of bloodthirsty lone wolves to vent their anger. Staring intently in that direction. That direction has their new god, the omnipotent god. He is also the most respected person in their hearts. Even Roger, who was known as One Piece, king of pirates back then, was on the Sky Island, but there was no young man in black robe and floating clouds in front of him, which made them fear and worship. Let them can't help but want to worship. As long as this person gives an order, they can turn into cold-blooded zombies, bloodthirsty lone wolves, and tear the woman from the Blue Sea to pieces. When has Olivia ever seen such a turbulent scene? She is like the center of the storm, surrounded by strange murderous eyes that can take her life at any time. Like an ice cellar, Olivia is frozen, making her whole body gradually chilled. She could feel the murderous intent that condensed like a substance. In the midst of the killing intent, they can still feel a burst of fanaticism, which is the sense of mission and flogging that the people are devout to their gods. There is even a sense of original guilt. They can be redeemed. Pierre raised his head and hissed. His calf couldn't help taking 2 steps back, and was shaken back by the killing intent in front of him. But he was tightly clamped by his 2 feet, and Ganfer couldn't feel the coldness of the rain at all, because there was no coldness at the scene comparable to the severe pain of the bereavement of the people and the killing intent that was undoubtedly dispatched to bring him and him together. The women of the Blue Sea were surrounded. Dong dong. The whole world was quiet, and the people who were noisy in the past were quiet. Olivia's eyes couldn't help trembling with cold, her eyelashes were wet, and she didn't feel tired. She still looked at the direction of the stomping sound. The group of bloodthirsty and irrational immortals that surrounded her slowly spread out to both sides. It was unimaginable that they were so rebellious, and even on the verge of rage, they would take the initiative to move away. One way. In Olivia's vision, the people on both sides separated in a fan shape, and the people on both sides squatted down to their bodies reverently, knelt down alone, crossed their hands on their chests, and said in a low voice, Hasso. Quote. After the crowd dispersed again, the torrential rain washed down and quickly walked out of 890. The black figure just now came. He was rolling with clouds and covered with black robes. A layer of strong killing intent rolled over his body, and his whole body was filled with sadness, blood red. In the eyes of the 6-pointed star, the Guyu rolled and turned, strange and abnormal. He walked over step by step, stomping a little, and even covered up the rest of the hurricane and howling. Olivia only felt a blur in front of her eyes, surrounded by thousands of people, surrounded by killing intent, her body was stiff and unable to move. For some unknown reason, at this moment, she felt that Chin Luo's whole body was full of loneliness, like a little prince who was dropped on the earth by a fox and roses, sad and lonely. He walked over step by step, getting closer, and one more step. Olivia felt that her heart seemed to stop. His strange pupils turned and stretched out his hand. 3 cold fingers landed on Olivia's chin, and the cold feeling instantly froze Olivia's head. Before Olivia could react again, a strong manly breath instantly enveloped her. A piece of icy lips came together. Olivia's mind was blinded, completely blinded, and the slightest heat turned into a mist and rose, and the abominable man actually stuck out his tongue and stirred it in his own mouth. Chapter 353 Why does he? Soon the warmth jumped out. Without stopping, the man put down his hand. Your lips are very fragrant. He turned around, covered his body with black robes, fluttered the clouds, was invincible, and left alone. He stopped abruptly, as if at this second, he glanced at the kneeling beings, and then said, "From now on, you will be my flow." The woman of the cloud. Quote. Olivia with a mixed attitude of envy, jealousy, complexity, fear, etc. And her head was still chaotic, hidden in the depths of her own. There was a crack in the deep dust-sealed strong barrier. This is the first time since her ghost husband passed away unfortunately, that she has been so heartbroken. Lu Yun God. Lu Yun God. The people around were shouting frantically, as if to celebrate the complete victory of their new god. Everyone shouted from the bottom of their hearts and felt proud from the bottom of their hearts. This is the Lu Yun god in their minds, even if they want to pick up girls. Hockey side leak. Why, that son of a bitch, stinky pirate, big hooligan, Sebiko actually kissed my lips. Why is he thinks he's a real horse. Kiss whoever he wants. Olivia's ears were crimson. She should have bitten him to death long ago. This bastard actually took advantage of the danger, kissed his own, and even stuck his tongue to stir it. He's doing it for your own good. The Silver Helmet's night outfit Ganfer observed for a long time before speaking, but a dignified expression revealed a sense of relief, and the stone in his heart was put down. Listening to the cheers of thousands of people, Olivia only felt that it was someone else's. She had nothing, and only endless grievances in her heart, for my own good. Then you can just say, I'm his girlfriend. I promised him is it. Pierre neighed, and a front palm hurriedly blocked what Olivia was about to say next. Olivia, I know you must hate him to death, but he did save you just now. You see that the people have lost their homes, even their wives and children are separated, and they are too sad. They regard yours as Golden Lion's companions. Didn't tear you to pieces. That's all because he said you were his girlfriend, so he solved the hidden murder. Don't you feel that the eyes of the people around you are very friendly to you? Ganfuer is definitely a man after living for so long. What reason can't he see through? Originally, he thought that the person in front of him, called Lu Yunshin, was an explosive and irritable fool who would only use force to solve problems. Did not expect such a hand. Her cheeks were slightly red, and Olivia was also very uneasy. The feeling of a crack in the 1,000-year-old ice seal came to her mind again. She hurriedly shook her head. She wanted to give everything she knew to her daughter. She will never delay Robin's study for the sake of her children. But Olivia couldn't help but glance at Chin Luo and murmured, "Stinky pirate. Let's start the banquet." Another person in the crowd suggested that most of them were homeless tonight, and it was inconvenient to clean up at night, so several people contributed all the food they had reserved. Everyone gathered together as if they were having fun, gathered under the high platform, and burned several bonfires at different points. Chin Luo solemnly handed the sea stone in his hand to the person who re-auctioned it, shook it lightly, and hung the golden lion for a long time, so that the stinky lion was shaken awake, and a bonfire was propped up again. Most of the people on Sky Island were homeless tonight, and the people who stayed behind were hesitantly wiggling their waists around the campfire. The clouds in the sky slowly changed from black to bright colors, and turned into a colorful neon-like morning glow. A person sat on a branch of the obedient bean vine that Chin Luo had cleaned up, and the fiery red glow was shining down Dragging his back for a long time, he drank his last sip of wine, looked up at the sky, and the neon lights fell into his crystal pupils. It's time to go see that legendary city. Qin Luo sighed lightly, showing his teeth. Isho got up, and flicked the dew on his black robe, feeling a little more comfortable in his heart. The whole person slid down easily, and fluttered like a black butterfly to the ground. When I came to this exposed place of ruins, it was still that huge bean sprout, standing between heaven and earth, and it has never changed. Humans can destroy vines. There was a pit in front of him. As long as he jumped down from this dark place, he could go to the going city of Shandola. Qin Luo looked up and looked around, only to feel that everything was quiet, and the carnival people had fallen asleep, leaving only a piece of land. A cool wind blows. Just as Qin Luo jumped, a Hegan fire gun explosion sounded behind him, but fortunately Qin Luo took a step earlier and fell into the deep pit. A girl with a long cape, jeans and a white t-shirt flashed out of the grass. Who else would it be if it was Aunt Olivia? A look of regret flashed on Olivia's face, looking at the dark pit in front of her. Her eyes were full of fortitude, without any hesitation before. Qin Luo is so sensitive, how could he not feel that he was shot with a black gun on it just now, and he planned to wait and teach him a lesson, but he didn't expect to hear the voice of that person jumping in from that hole immediately. Complicated thoughts flashed through his mind, but no matter how he thought about it, Qin Luo couldn't think of what the person behind him meant by jumping down. Isn't he afraid that Qin Luo will shoot him in the back? You must know that this is all going down. As long as Qin Luo hides somewhere he wants to pass, he can sneak up on people casually. Besides, one-hit kill is a joke to Qin Luo. Call out. The speed of the two of them did not deliberately speed up, or deliberately slow down, allowing the blackness to slide until they fell down. I don't know how long it took. Qin Luo only felt that the breeze blowing was no longer the coolness just now. I saw a ray of light below me. It is exactly the same as recorded in the record of the source of flowers, and suddenly there is light. Qin Luo couldn't wait to sprint out and looked intently, only to see rolling hills and green trees one after another, as if he had entered a new green world. Ah, that is. Qin Luo had a bird's-eye view of the strange paradise that appeared in front of him. There were guide birds ready to take off, and guide birds that were courting. Soon, Qin Luo's eyes were greeted with a picture he had dreamed of. In the center of the island surrounded by green shadows and covered with seaweed, there was a bell tower built by Going, because that was the highest place in the city. The green trees did not cover the Going bell so easily. Chapter 354 to Olivia. Wow, what a miracle! How did the Shandia immortals build this city of Going? Qin Luo couldn't help but sigh in his heart the collective wisdom and great achievements of the Shandia ancestors. Just take out a piece of Going, and you can have no worries in Blue Sea. The quality of Going here is very high. The surrounding environment is green and full of vitality. 400 years of recuperation has turned this place into a paradise for animals and plants. The number of people flying in the sky and running on the ground is much larger than that of ordinary forests. Looking straight at it, everything is recovering, and the greenery is lurking, as if the whole world has been occupied by green. A flush appeared on Qin Luo's face, and the city of Going that he had dreamed of appeared naked in front of him. Qin Luo used the gravitational repulsion force to balance the blessing. In a few breaths, his footsteps had already landed on the bell tower. The Going pillar was hidden and located in this area. In the middle hung a huge disrepair. Going Bell, the inscription of the official history of the world. Near the Going Bell is stained with a lot of green algae and vines. Radiant rays of radiance, all the way through thorns, the pride of humanity fell to the ground, and fell on the huge plaque with the inscription. There is no device that can shuttle energy around, but what is happening in front of you is too weird. The articles covered by the inscription, the moss rustling by the rays of the sun, like dried salted fish, gradually fell off the inscription in mottled and mottled, and the large characters were circled by the yellow golden light, but most of these words were. The historical text was written, and naturally Qin Luo couldn't understand it. But Qin Luo understands these goings. The columns on both sides are really made of pure goings. How can you see such a large piece of pure gold goings in blue sea? It is definitely a 999 going level. Qin Luo was excited, strode forward, and his little hands couldn't help but get excited. This moved the going pillar and took it down to the blue sea to put it at the entrance of his dragon palace. That style, that facade, guaranteed the glory of the ancestors for 108 generations. Same reason, Qin Luo took a step forward and hugged the going column directly, hugging it into a crazy color, hugging his hands. Get up. Qin Luo raised his hand directly from the top, sweat in his hands, rocks rolling around, the big bell on the top of the door swayed with a squeak, his sweaty hands slipped, and the breath he held back leaked out. It didn't even hold up once. Darkness, Demon King, tomorrow, work hard. At this time, someone whispered softly from behind. Qin Luo, who was engrossed in listening, jumped in his heart, and hurriedly turned to look at her, only to see her long hair fluttering. The gray-blue robe fluttered in the wind, and his eyes were almost dull looking at the going-colored inscription in front of him. Olivia, Qin Luo asked uncertainly, knowing that if he came down from such a high place, if there was no one, he would not be able to get down even if he was killed. But now Olivia not only came down from the entrance of the White Sea, but also stood alive and alive. In front of him, there is a different level than that of a dirty man. Eternal darkness inhabits a demon king, guiding the tomorrow that will never come, but seeing the demise of tomorrow, people are working hard towards death going. Olivia didn't seem to hear Qin Luo's voice, and looked at the stone tablet to herself. If it weren't for the fact that the stone tablet was too heavy, she would have taken it back directly. How did you get here? Qin Luo's exposed eye flickered for a while, as bright as a lamp in the dark night. He slowly stepped back and stood at the level of Olivia's. He was very interested in the inscription. After all, the legendary Hades is very likely to be recorded in it. Unfortunately, there is no way to self-interpret it, and only rely on Olivia to describe it slowly. Use the exhaust shell. Olivia, who was engrossed in it, answered Qin Luo's question when she had time, her eyes revealing a stubbornness. Qin Luo has nothing to do here, so he might as well go shopping for some treasures in Going City. Before leaving, Olivia was still muttering words, presumably translating this historical inscription. There are many goings in Going City, so Qin Luo also went down to get some high-quality goings with high value, as well as some going tribute grades that can best reflect the spirit and prestige of their famous clan. If you bring them back, you can buy them casually. A devil fruit. At the same time, at the entrance of Beibaihai, there was a station for the express lobster train. A platform was built by snow-white island clouds. 4 pillars stood proudly, the sea breeze was blowing, and suddenly, a black shadow drifted by, even if it was Qin Luo couldn't see the shadow figure clearly here. I don't know if she was frightened or stimulated by sensitive nerves, but an old grandmother who lived inside suddenly came out, with wings on her back, and her face was full of wrinkles, like a plum face, holding 1,000 years old in her hand. The changed camera, at this time, is facing a space to take pictures. This person is Amazon. Suddenly, Amazon's grandmother's body became cold, and a gust of wind blew over, causing her to take a step back involuntarily, and wanted to call other friends over, but it was too late. A gust of gloomy wind passed, and a palm hit Amazon's back with lightning speed, and Amazon passed out on the spot. The spot was sparkling, and 2 figures slowly emerged. One figure was wearing a cloak with bat ears, with an earring on the earlobe, a pair of eyes as sharp as a falcon, and a fiery red cloak. The other people around were people Qin Luo knew all too well. It turned out to be Olivia. Olivia lowered her eyebrows and stood behind the man in the bat cape, silently staring at the man in front of her, with a frenzy and respectful devotion in her eyes, like a religious fanatic. If Qin Luo was at the starting point of the passage of Baihai at this moment, he would definitely find it unbelievable. The man in the bat cape slowly put his hand on the Amazon who was knocked unconscious on the ground in front of him. The middle was sparkling again, as if some miracle would happen, exuding the smell of magic. The man in the bat cape slowly raised his other left hand and slowly closed his eyes. In just 3 seconds, a string of currents in his right hand slowly passed through and fell into his left hand. There was a golden light below, and in a flash, the dazzling light slowly faded away, and a human face was slowly formed, and then a human body. In a completely illogical situation, a human figure was created out of thin air. Chapter 355 I did it all to save you. And the most bizarre thing is that this human figure has a very similar face to the Amazon lying on the ground. No, it even has the same face, the same body, and wings on the back. Wake up, son of Redfield. The man in the bat cape flicked his long scarlet cape, muttering words in his mouth, and he lowered his head and murmured, as if it was a call, and the fake Amazon, made out of thin air actually appeared in the crowd. In front of. Ha ha. God of flowing clouds. Others call you flowing cloud god, so are you the opponent of Redfield, the god of Almighty. I'm looking forward to it. After all, Roger and Golden Lion's pirates encountered most of him. They all escaped. Seeing that the plan that was implemented step by step became easier and easier to achieve, no matter what, this person laughed wildly. This man who laughed wildly was the Red Earl, Redfield, and even more so, Red the Aloof, Lonely Red, who once used the hands of one person to play the pirate group of Roger and Golden Lion and others in applause. I didn't expect that just after living in seclusion for a year, I saw an interesting newcomer appear. Lu Yun. Others call you a god. I don't know, will you like the gift I prepared for you this time? The Red Earl kicked the Amazon lying on the ground arrogantly, and threw it into the house inside, and with a bang, he directly rejected the family and locked it up. This man had a pair of cunning eyes, making Red the Aloof look feeling unhappy. The Red Earl slowly disappeared, revealing a face, and said to Olivia who was beside him, then we will wait for them here quietly. They will be back soon. You also hide, or they will see you, must be taken aback. Even screaming to the hell. The voice became thinner and thinner, like a gnat murmuring. Thousands of golden rays of light fell from the morning sun, and all of a sudden, the whole glowing city was decorated with golden radiance. An unparalleled beauty. The rays of the sun fell, and she was draped over her gray-blue cloak, which also covered her with a hazy golden light. Qin Luo, who was not far away, stared at the person in front of him, revealing an intriguing thought. In between, I remembered that I didn't know anything about Olivia, and everything only got some impressions through Robin's memories. Thinking and studying the inscription so seriously made Qin Luo's little heart almost jump out, which is really rare. If Qin Luo knew that there was another Olivia in the same time and space, Qin Luo would definitely go crazy. How's it going? Qin Luo stepped out and the human figure flew directly over, just in time to see Olivia picking up the inscription that had been expanded, so Qin Luo asked softly, and he also promised Qin Luo to make an inscription for Qin Luo at the beginning. Translation out. Stinky pirate, I remembered, you actually sneaked down alone and didn't take me down. I hate you. Olivia saw Qin Luo and suddenly remembered that Qin Luo was despicable and refused to take her down, and dared to take her kiss away in public. This man is hateful and murderous. Didn't I bring you down here? Qin Luo said angrily, saying in his heart that he didn't like it was unrealistic, especially the graceful back figure just now made Qin Luo very obsessed. Take me down like that. You are too cunning, your tongue is eloquent. You are just a despicable villain. Olivia's face was red, and the more she spoke, the more embarrassed she felt. This boy didn't even repent at all. His face was thin angrily, he threw his hand away, showing an embarrassed smile. Why am I being a mean villain? I did it all to save you. It's really a dog-biting Lu Dongbing. Qin Luo was wrongly killed. What's wrong with me, the villain? Taking advantage of people's danger is the villain. He loves the country, the people, the family, and the beauties. Everyone has the love of beauty. You kiss me, touch my face, for my good. Thinking that she was violated, the violent Olivia immediately braked in midair. Although Olivia, who was already learning how to use the wind shells and cloud shells, made great progress, she still made a fatal mistake. She braked suddenly in midair, her front foot stopped suddenly, and the exhaust and cloud shells on her back feet made a fatal mistake. The impact made the inexperienced Olivia's brows twitch and her heart panicked. Her back foot collided with her front foot, and the wind and cloud shells went out, and Olivia fell rustling like a kite that was broken in the wind. Emotionally, Chin Luo turned around and flew up, trying to catch Olivia, who wanted to fly away with Paifengbei and Yunbei. It was the first time I had such an intimate contact with Olivia, and I only felt that it felt exceptionally good. Stinky hooligan, smelly pirate, let go. Chin Luo hugged Olivia from behind, and recovered from the frightened expression of her whereabouts. Her cheeks blushed, and she said these words quickly and quickly. Hey, why are you swearing again? Really, didn't I save you? You are about to fall on going, and you will be disfigured if you don't fall to your death. You're saving me. Where did you put your hand? You bastard. Let go. Olivia was anxious and angry. Her face was already red with anger. Her eyes were wide and bulging. If it weren't for the inability to move his hand, he would have wanted a shot to explode this person's head. I didn't save you. Did I just want to touch you? Chin Luo was angry, but he said half-heartedly, but halfway through, he looked at Olivia's eyes and looked at his hand, and was startled. I actually touched the softest part of a woman. No wonder it felt so good just now. He quickly explained, I really didn't mean it just now. I was in a hurry, and I was careless when I was trying to rescue people. Although Chin Luo said so, but as an old driver who has come and gone, he would rather kill the wrong than let it go. For those who pushed Tsunade and Momoshiki down again, Chin Luo was really used to it. He habitually squeezed the softness in his hands, and a burst of pleasure passed into Chin Luo's mind. You rascal, let go. A numb feeling came from a private place that he had never violated in the past 4 years. It's over. It's definitely regarded as a big-tailed wolf this time, but he was really habitual just now. It has nothing to do with him half a dime. Blame it. It feels so plump and so soft to the touch. Don't let go. Olivia's face was covered with frost. This person is a hooligan. No, more shameless than a hooligan, just a shameless toad. Chapter 356. Don't fly in the air, I'm a waste lion. Ah, I'm sorry. Chin Luo found that he was still holding someone else's place. In a hurry, he let go. If he was caught again, he was afraid that the title of pervert would not be removed. Anyway, brother has a few women. Why can't you stand it? It's definitely inertia. Absolutely inertia. The crime of non-war is God's will. Ah, stinky pirate, I'm going to fall to death. If I kill 1,000 knives, I won't let you go even if I'm a ghost. Frost turned into a panic, and Olivia hadn't adjusted the exhaust shells under her feet. Yunbei, his body turned into a tile in midair and fell straight down. This is a full 400 or 500 meters from the ground, and I am sorry for the height difference if I fall down without breaking my body. Chin Luo's face was startled, not to mention nonsense. He stepped out with one step, and the attraction and repulsion supported each other, like a bow full of arrows coming out of the string. In an instant, he hugged Olivia by the waist, stepped out, and made a little leap. Steady, it landed firmly in the vicinity of the going bell. Quick, let me down. Stinky rascal. The angry Olivia hurriedly shouted as soon as she landed. The person in front of her was just like her own calamity, and she would be unlucky wherever she went. She encountered an IQ creature as soon as she went out, and now she's here to find it. A treasure, and almost killed. Chin Luo quickly let go after confirming that Olivia was safe. Olivia's face was frosty. After sending Olivia away, the tenderness left in Chin Luo's hand turned into a coldness, and a nostalgic smile evoked the corner of his mouth. He stepped out a few steps, and suddenly came to this place that was half a height above Chin Luo's body. In front of the stone tablet, he was thoughtful. System. It's the master. Can this be taken away? I remember that there are 2 such historical inscriptions in the family of the 4 emperors, so I can naturally take this away. The system automatically assigns storage space to you, which is less than 3 cubic meters, and it's more than enough to put it in. Okay, after you move out, make a faith here. Imitating the stone tablet and carving the exact same inscription will cost 1,000 points, whether to exchange it. Exchange. Qin Luo waited for more than a minute, then the stone tablet in front of him disappeared with a bang, and soon a copy of the same piece appeared out of thin air, and even the part on it that was eroded by the rain could remain exactly the same. After doing these actions, he turned into a streamer and collected some valuable and even artistic goings everywhere. Those goings that can be seen everywhere are of no use to Qin Luo, and he is not the greedy Arlong in the Middle Ages. Back in Beibihai, Qin Luo found Ganfuer at the place where Ganfuer lived, and saw that the old man in front of him was also much older. He who took off his silver helmet was just like other immortals. The action is okay, but the thinking is a little dull. Ganfuer, have you seen the woman you were with before? Qin Luo asked unceremoniously, with a flat tone. Did God mean Olivia? She has already packed her bags and set off. A hint of doubt appeared on Ganfuer's face, thinking that the person in front of her was not with Olivia. Why did Olivia leave without notifying him now? What? Going so fast? Qin Luo showed a shriveled look, feeling a bit lonely in his heart, but his face still maintained a calm look. Where did you go? Did you say it? It seems to say that you have to rush to save the other 33 people, that is, the people who were harmed by the golden lion you sold before. Ganfuer has always been relatively stable, and naturally he will not gossip about those who are not. Yes, most of those things have nothing to do with him. His current task is to coordinate the reconstruction of Angel Island. Okay, then I'll also say goodbye. Qin Luo's face showed a burst of boldness, and the matter of Sky Island will come to an end for the time being. Olivia for so many days, he would not be able to save face. The other thing is Blue Sea. I'm afraid this Ganfuer may not know. The only people who know the situation at that time are Olivia and Golden Lion. Qin Luo stepped out. The breeze was blowing, the robes rolled, the red clouds fluttered, and turned into a streamer in the sky. Landed on the high platform where Golden Lion was tied, and there were still pieces of mess left over from the bonfire party last night. At this moment, Golden Lion was hanging and tied on the high platform. When I first met, I didn't know how thick it was and how long it had grown, so that someone who was about the same age as Roger instantly became more than 10 years older. The unkempt face, dull eyes, a sense of loneliness of a hero in his twilight and old age, but it can be well reflected in Golden Lion. Seeing Qin Luo, Golden Lion seemed to be the most devout slave, crawling over Qin Luo's shoes and muttering, Blue Yun God. I was wrong, I was so wrong. Please, forgive me. Golden Lion, give you a chance to atone for your sins, do you want it? Qin Luo's tone was cold. Facing the miserable Golden Lion, he could not develop any sympathy. Every time he saw Golden Lion in his mind, I remember what I did last night. The IQ creatures slaughtered hundreds of islanders as soon as they landed, all of them were absorbed by the brilliance of life and died. It's just abruptly depriving others of their lives. Everyone's face is full of despair, twisted, fearful eyes. Just one glance, Qin Luo feels that he will never forget in his life. They are just ordinary people, and they were plundered by these so-called self-proclaimed strong people. Qin Luo will never let these people live in the world. Is it 5.1? God, hurry up, tell me, Golden Lion, if I don't fly in the air, I'm a waste lion. Golden Lion's face was stunned for a while, followed by a burst of ecstasy, a desire for life. You must know that Lu Yun directly killed even Tenryubito, destroyed the world government, and destroyed the Holy Land, and punched out directly from the Impel Down. These great feats all show that Qin Luo is definitely a daring person to kill. A person is like crushing an ant. Yes, I used to dislike those weak people, and seeing them was like crushing an ant. Oh, Qin Luo's tone was indifferent, with an expression of, it's none of my business. He just needed Golden Lion's cooperation, so he asked, where did you throw those 33 O'Hara scholars? Already. Chapter 357 Intimate Contact with Amazon. Golden Lion never imagined that the sky-spanning god of clouds in front of him would come to ask about a trivial matter 4 or 5 days ago. that is, a group of mindless scholars. These people are lazy and can't do heavy work. It is a miracle to be able to sail for such a long time. He was casually thrown into the sea by his golden lion to feed the fish. For their pirates, thousands of people drowned and died every day. Those who want to live, tell me what they know. Qin Luo's tone became colder, and the corner of his mouth no longer smiled, which made the latter's body tremble involuntarily. Even through the mask, he could feel Qin Luo's bloodthirsty expression. Killing intent. Golden Lion put away the look of contempt on his face, and said hurriedly and respectfully, "These few things have been locked up in love, and I feel that it is necessary to start from the beginning. After I recently got out of the infinite prison, I just thought about it. I wanted to take revenge, and then I went to eavesdrop on Marine's actions, and I found out that they wanted to dispatch Buster Call to kill O'Hara. I became very curious about this, and then I found out that the original O'Hara's group of scholars can actually read the text of history 800 years ago, which shocked and terrified the world government, because. What do you have to say? Don't hesitate, you don't want to live anymore, right?" Qin Luo's eyes narrowed, and the cold pressure of Bing 17 exuded, directly suppressing Golden Lion and coughing non-stop. I said. Golden Lion quickly spit out these words from the gap between his teeth. Qin Luo let go of Golden Lion's coercion. Golden Lion gasped heavily, and then continued, "Because there are ancient times hidden in the historical text, the three major weapons, this is what the world government is most afraid of. Pluto was built in imitation of the seven waters. It is said that a single shot can blow up a small island. Now the design drawings are still in the hands of Tom, the shipbuilder on the seven waters. Poseidon, the king of the sea, can summon all sea areas. The sea kings inside can also slaughter an island in an instant. The king of heaven is said to be able to control weather changes, thunder and lightning, rainstorms and winds, and elemental attacks directly turn a small island into a molten city or a desert island submerged by a tsunami." Quote. Well, continue. Qin Luo remained expressionless and indifferent. Even in the face of these ancient weapons, Qin Luo was not at all tempted. Okay. Golden Lion couldn't even see a tyrannical tendency on Qin Luo's face, and he didn't know if it was a blessing or a curse for him, so he just continued to bite the bullet. Then I thought to find Pluto, this can destroy the world government in one shot. It is very likely that the scholars who know where Pluto is are scholars such as O'Hara, so I found them after I got out of prison, and then I found that Olivia was the most talented, so she was left alone, and the other 33 people were thrown into the sea directly near the Seven Waters Island to feed the fish. I lied to them at the time that I could bring them to Sky Island. I threw them into the Ennie's lobby halfway through. As soon as Marine leaves the door, I can catch all these wicked people in one sweep. Ha ha. Golden. The more Lion talked, the more proud he became, directly revealing his treacherous nature. Golden Lion, go away, take your floating island as far as you want. Anyway, I can't let me see you in the blue sea, otherwise, when I see you, it's when you die. It's good to do it. Bar. Qin Luo's face was covered with a layer of frost. The Golden Lion in front of him was so abhorrent, he even threw O'Hara into the marine fortress, where he wanted to kill them the most. Isn't this sending these people to death? Almost in an instant, Qin Luo thought of what this woman Olivia wanted to do. Absolutely water alone in the past marine base camp to die. Qin Luo was about to let go of Golden Lion's sea stone, but he didn't expect Golden Lion to be elated and thankful, and then said, Lu Yunshin, you are like my new parents. And you are also the most honest person I have ever met. Faithful man, untie things like this so that you won't be bothered by your old age. I can only handle it. Golden Lion shook his body, then let the rope on his body fall off, and continued, Thank you Lu Yun God. I will go back now, and I will never appear in the blue sea. Please rest assured and supervise at any time. Qin Luo knew how the Golden Lion could be caught by a mere sea stone rope. Now it seems that this kid has something in his hands. I'm afraid this kid is very afraid of himself now, so he doesn't dare to make trouble in front of him at all, otherwise he would have run away long ago, but unfortunately even if he ran away, Chinluo would be caught back. It is better to cheat a life. Go away. Chinluo highlighted a word in disgust, thinking about it in his heart, as if he was put together by the golden lion in front of him, but Chinluo rushed to save Olivia, too lazy to bother with the person in front of him. By the way, God, I guess Olivia doesn't have the ability to fly in the air. At most, she can only use the wind and cloud shells here. These things have left Baihai and Beibaihai, and there is no way to use them. The hand will turn into a normal person and fall directly to his death from an altitude of nearly 5,000 meters. Quote. Golden Lion turned into a chatterbox, and sent Chinluo what he knew and didn't know. Sure enough, Chinluo's mood suddenly tightened when he heard it. If he confirmed what he said, wouldn't he have to hurry up later? Set off, otherwise he really fell from Beibaihai into the air, wouldn't it be a free fall? 10 kilometers, that's no joke. After Chinluo finished speaking, he turned into a stream of light and passed by. The white clouds quickly retreated behind him. Chinluo arrived at the entrance of Beibaihai in almost 3 minutes, and saw a person taking it from the platform. A camera came out to take a picture of Chinluo. Huh. Chinluo's body is fast, almost the same as the speed of light, but very 650 Kuei felt a little uneasy in his heart, and then he turned around and wanted to ask what happened here. Hey, old angel, did you see a woman flying out from here? Chinluo asked anxiously, and his feet landed firmly on the platform. Women. We have a lot of women here. They come and go. Your grandma is also a woman. I don't know which woman are you talking about. It's a sturdy woman wearing a long cape, jeans, and a Higan fire gun hanging around her waist. She should have used Paifungbei and Yunbei to fly out. Chinluo thought for a while, and then tried everything he knew. Maybe described. Well, the old lady is deaf, can't hear what you are saying, so you put your hand on mine, and I can use telepathy to communicate. The light in Amazon's eyes became brighter. I go, what look in this woman's eyes? Chinluo fixedly looked at the half-old MILF in front of him. The expression on Ganmei's face made Chinluo feel wretched for a while. This woman wouldn't be lonely and cold, would she want to comfort her? It's better not to. Chinluo hesitantly refused. Of course, it's not good to refuse directly, because he still wants to continue the questioning. Hey, what are you doing? Chinluo suddenly became furious. Chapter 358 Fake Out. The man didn't understand Chinluo's refusal at all, so he grabbed Chinluo's arm and pressed it against his forehead. The old lady knows how to feel. As long as I can hear your heart, then I can judge whether you really care about that person, and if you are sincere enough, I can help you find that woman. You have to trust the old lady. Words. Angel Amazon said. She had rough skin on her hands and looked pious. She closed her eyes, as if immersed in the feeling of the heart. After a while, she raised her eyes, and there was a just right difference in them, and then there was a shock on her face, and then it turned into a doubt. How is it? Does it help you remember where she went? Chinluo's exposed eye was filled with a haze, a murderous intent. As long as this person changes a little, he doesn't mind killing this woman with a knife. However, this woman was quite well behaved and did not mean to violate anything. She just put her hand on top of Chinluo's head and did not continue. After a long time, Amazon put Chinluo's hands down, and said, I listen to your heart. I think you must be very concerned about this woman. Then I will also tell you seriously, this woman is as good as you imagined. Woman, I hope you will treat her well. She passed in front of me not long ago, taking Paifungbei and Yunbei to the north. North? Isn't that the marine fortress Marineford? Chinluo was stunned when he heard this, but there was always a hidden dodge in the eyes of the woman in front of him. Thank you, I'll say goodbye first. Chinluo didn't say much, and continued to pretend that nothing had happened. He turned away from the entrance site, turned into a streamer, hovered in the distance, and briskly landed near the site and found some thick clouds to cover him. Cover up. Hold your breath, use water to melt all things, and integrate your body into the sea, turning it into a natural eavesdropping mechanism. Amazon didn't find anyone listening to her. After she saw Chin Luo fly away, the treacherousness hidden in the corner of her eyes was exposed. She turned around and walked into the door. After opening the gate of opening, another Amazon appeared, but this Amazon was staring at the door with resentment. Why, do you have a lot of opinion on me? Or do you feel ashamed that I am fat and bloated like you? This kid is interesting, and there is no doubt that the Olivia who escaped has been ripped off by me. Amazon put his hands on his face and dangled for a while, and his body slowly changed. The shriveled face that was like prunes gradually became longer, and the skin did not have the wrinkles, and turned into a more majestic human figure with a bat-shaped cloak on the back, and the coquettish fiery red makes people extremely fascinated. He was tied with Amazon on his back and murmured to himself. Okay, don't hate me anymore, said the Red Earl in the bat cape, turning around and looking at Amazon. I don't like you, stinky, old and ugly. Turning around, he turned into countless vampire bats and drifted away. Hearing the sound of the man in the shape of a bat in red cape turning into a bloody weapon and flying away, Chin Luo knew that the woman he chased out was the Olivia he said had lost her bag. Just as Chin Luo was about to take this man when he was caught and questioned, the man flew away. Looking at the opponent's movement, it is a bit like Zone's bat fruit. Chin Luo scratched his scalp and couldn't remember which one of the pirates ate Bato no mi. He went out to ask the real Amazon now and it would be fruitless, because Chin Luo's hesitation just now directly led to the appearance of this person in front of him. In such a situation, let the other party run away. Moreover, the opponent's strength is no less than Roger, Whitebeard and the like. Now, if you want to continue to seize the clues, you have to wait until Chin Luo catches the fake Olivia, so that it is possible to know what medicine is sold in the other party's gourd. Chin Luo came out of his hiding place. His brows were fine-tuned, his left eye twitched fiercely, and he wondered if there would be something wrong this time. Forced to suppress the crazy and messy thoughts in his heart, now that Olivia is in their hands, Chin Luo can't be too reckless. The most important thing now is to find out what this person is trying to do. Chin Luo once again melted everything with water, found the whereabouts of Laboon and Rouge and others, and then let them go to Beibihai to join him. Boss! Momoshiki jumped 3 feet high, and seeing Chin Luo was like seeing a peach, and her heart was like a rabbit. What's the name of your hand just now? Why did you just take down such a huge IQ plant so casually? Momoshiki was very happy. She was shopping in the cute street just now when she heard the people who escaped the disaster. He talked about that battle with relish, and when he talked about that battle, it seemed like there were endless topics to talk about. Originally, his boyfriend Chin Luo was the protagonist in the story. Naturally, Momoshiki discussed with them for a long time, and found a common topic, which made Momoshiki very happy, but most people only know the huge bean sprout. It appeared like a god, but I didn't know that it was a violent plant caused by evil IQ. Chin Luo, however, first ordered Laboon to go first, and followed him to the north, lest the only clue now disappears in front of him. Then, he explained the general situation at that time to Momoshiki. Rouge on the side was not thinking, nor was he listening to Chin Luo's speech very seriously. From time to time, he glanced at the window, which always had unexpected scenery. She suddenly turned around and looked at Chin Luo steadily, which made Chin Luo startled. Sister Rouge, what's the matter? Do you have something on your mind? Momoshiki's face flashed a dignified color, but she looked at Rouge without any scheming. Me? Oh, I was wondering why Lu Yun let us go to the north. The north is our Marineford, if I remember correctly. Rouge's eyes swung back to Chin Luo again, which Rouge never thought about. Clear. Chin Luo looked embarrassed when he heard it, and thought to himself, do you want to tell them to chase a woman back? If I say it myself, I'm afraid Momoshiki won't let myself go on the bed. Even so, there was a calm expression on his face. Suddenly he exhaled a dignified voice and said, I have a strong sense of unease in my heart. It is necessary for us to go to Marineford so that I can feel at ease. Chapter 359 Yes, I like perverts. This sentence is true. He now needs to go to Marine to recover all the devil fruits in the previous IOU. He needs points very much now. Only with points can he help brother Roger take away the devil fruit from Blackjack and let Roger eat the invisible fruit, so that Roger is alive but outsiders think he is dead. You can even go to sea to do evil under the name of Blackjack. Of course Chin Luo also knew that Roger would never do evil. He shook his head, shaking the fantasy away from his mind. Ow! Just as the three continued to talk about their exciting trip to the sky, Laboon uttered a strange cry. Judging from the situation, he should have been anxious. Rouge and Momosuke tensed up in their hearts, and looked alert, ready to deal with unexpected situations. Only Chin Luo was wearing a mask and expressionless, but his heart was full of joy. It seemed that he had made the right bet this time. Hearing the sound, Chin Luo and Momosuke came out hand in hand, using the special passage of the whale Laboon, to go directly outside to see what was going on. The reason why it was so grand was of course Chin Luo's suggestion. If you don't do this, it might be a corpse that will be pulled up, which is not beautiful. Chin Luo lowered his head to hide the smile in the corner of his eyes. Crash! A fountain-like gushing 780 spurted out directly from Laboon's back, and the water splashed all over, forming a strong and solid water column for a while. The gust of wind passed through, and a piece of cloud and mist was empty. After the cloud was light and the wind was light, a man and a woman were revealed. To the golden boy and girl. Just heard the woman lightly open her red lips, her eyes full of anxiety. What happened? Laboon is so anxious. The person who spoke was Momosuke. As Chin Luo exited through the Whales Expressway, the two stood hand in hand on Laboon, standing high, but they were wrapped in a large area of fog, which made them feel very inconvenient. Still can't see what happened before. Don't worry, wait for me to take a look and see what happened. The man is Chin Luo, dressed in a black robe, the red auspicious clouds swaying in the wind so clearly. Compared with the woman's anxiety, Chin Luo really described it as a relaxed and freehand brushwork. He was lazy all over his body. He opened his eyes with full-scale eyes and saw the outline of the clouds. Sure enough, it was the energy stored in the wind and cloud shells. The fake, Olivia, that was exhausted and deflated and fell into the water. What's the matter? Hurry up and talk about it. What's the matter? It's time. Although Momosuke has a good armament hockey, observation hockey's practice is not as focused as her sister Suru Vice Admiral, so she is in observation hockey. Hockey's side has always been on the weak side, and now the best example is that she can't even hear what happened to Laboon in front of her. It's nothing, it seems that someone fell into Bye-Bye High. Seeing that her chest is getting slower and slower, it is estimated that her breath is gradually disappearing after a struggle. Chin Luo was expressionless, as if he was commenting on a story the same, without a trace of personal feelings. After all, he clearly knew in his heart that the one in front of him was not the real Olivia, so there was no need to rush to rescue him. Chin Luo's cold blood made Momosuke extremely angry. Before Chin Luo could finish speaking, Momosuke interrupted Chin Luo's gentle narration. Laboon, swallow that woman in your stomach. Momosuke's eyes were so anxious that two fires rose, and he pulled Chin Luo down from the special passage of the giant whale Laboon. There was a row of ladders left by the One Piece King of Pirates Roger ship doctor before. Suddenly, Momosuke found herself floating, so scared that Momosuke scratched like she was drowning. The kind-hearted Chin Luo was scratched with several scars on his face and chest. Hey, do you want to be so thirsty? Chin Luo didn't care. A wicked smile appeared on his cheeks. He saw Momosuke so anxious just now, but he forgot that Chin Luo could use the soaring technique at will. Chin Luo thought of good intentions and put her down with the air technique, but she thought she was going to lose her center of gravity and fall to her death, so she struggled in Chin Luo's arms in midair for a while. Fuck you, you're a pervert. Momosuke's cheeks were crimson, like a ripe apple. He was frightened just now, and people naturally wanted to grab everything that could be grabbed around them. So tasted. It's still the same taste. Chin Luo remembered that Momosuke used to call Chin Luo a stinky pirate and a stinky wolf at first, but now he takes care of himself in every possible way. Become Chin Luo's long-term partner. You are the original satyr. Momosuke said angrily, with both hands showing the wolf-like appearance. Original. Men don't have sex, women don't love. That's right, I like perverts. Momosuke followed Chin Luo's tone, originally wanting to scold Chin Luo as a big-tailed pervert, but as soon as he said those words, there was a strong lingering feeling that could not be dissipated. Slutty fox smell. Embarrassed Momosuke and wished he could find a crack to penetrate it. The two made a big fuss. Chin Luo didn't care, but Momosuke was very anxious, urging Chin Luo to rush over to rescue the people on the ground. Walked. Momosuke's eyes lit up, and she soon saw a figure in Laboon's gastric juice. She happened to be lying on top of an abandoned waiba. Waiba was made of wood, even if the exhaust shell was lost. The energy can still be used as a driftwood, carried on it, to survive in the sea. Momosuke walked in quickly, anxious in her heart. She took 3 steps and 2 steps, and came to the side of the woman in distress. She saw that the woman was wearing a very old cloak. Pale, Momosuke was so frightened that she knelt on the ground and floated the person up. Turning around and urging Chin Luo to perform the soaring technique, Chin Luo saw the fake Olivia in front of him with almost the same appearance as Olivia at a glance. He really sighed, and then took Momosuke and the Olivia directly back to his base camp. Going to the small island in the middle of the gastric juice, Chin Luo put the person on his back and put him in the house on the small island. Momosuke led a pile of medicines and performed treatment around Olivia, like a spinning top, treating the wound and cleaning the filth on his face. Chapter 360 Prisoners. When Chin Luo was almost done, he heard Olivia wow tears, and spit out a large amount of filth, all the seawater drawn from Beibaihai, and it's good to spit it out at this time. So you won't suffer. Chin Luo planned to inspect the 2 prisoners and let Momosuke take care of Olivia. With Momosuke's cultivation, he should not suffer from Olivia. Entering the prisoner room number 1. I happened to see the Banshee Queen Eva walking around dragging a heavy seastone necklace. He has been locked in this room recently, and he is going crazy. His subordinates clearly agreed to find 30 devil fruits to redeem him. But everyone here has been here for almost 7 days, and they haven't seen any news. I don't know if Chin Luo wants to lock him up on purpose, and then lock him up until he dies of old age. Then Chin Luo is too insidious and too unfaithful. While he was thinking about it, he thought of the sound of squatting outside the corridor. With 1 step or 2, he brought back his wandering thoughts. This sound was the sound he had longed for 7 days. Hearing this, his face was stunned for a moment, followed by a pair of bullfrog-sized eyes showing a look, and I kept saying in my heart, I knew that these guys were very reliable. This time, I definitely collected 30 devil fruits. Why, you are in good spirits here. Chin Luo showed a playful smile, and there was a flash of brilliance in his eyes. As soon as I came in, I saw Eva so excited. Looking at her appearance, it seemed like she had given herself a stimulant. That, can I go out? I can see the sun again. Eva said excitedly. The colorful hair on her body grew again, and as he became emotional, it continued to tremble. Chin Luo's voice made him so excited. I'm so sorry. Chin Luo couldn't bear to tell Eva a cruel reality. That is, Chin Luo has not received any news that his subordinates have collected any devil fruit to exchange. As long as there is such a release, Tsunade will definitely try his best to tell him the news. Thinking of this, Tsunade with big breasts and fat hips, and that wonderful night on Fishman Island, was the night when she became a princess, and it was also the night when she became her woman. Chin Luo was impressed by every detail. Thoughts drifted further away. Yes, I'm going back to meet Tsunade. I'm sorry. Why do you say sorry? If you say I'm sorry, boy. The excitement on Eva's face first turned into excitement, then into fear, and then into loneliness. A hunch lingered in his mind that Chin Luo would never let him go now. Isn't it possible that they didn't send the devil fruit to redeem me? Eva resisted the sadness and despair in her heart. Her eyes were already wet with warmth, as long as there was a little bit of catalysis, Eva will most likely turn into a fountain of tears. Well, I haven't received anything from my side about what your crew has received from my elder's place. Startled by Eva's eyes, Chinluo didn't dare to speak heavy words, but kept a calm tone and analyzed what was going on in front of Eva to know. Chinluo wasn't very interested in this she-male at first, but now facing the embarrassed appearance of the she-male, he couldn't help but sigh for a while. How is this possible? It's been 7 days, why haven't all the devil fruits been collected? This is contempt for me and Eva. I'm going to do it myself and sell all this useless garbage at a low price. Go. I will go back later, and I must eat them alive. Hey, come back to me and sit well, otherwise I'll be rude to you. Chinluo watched Eva, the treacherous king of she-males, walk in front of him in such a grand manner. That's okay, although he knows even if the other party runs out, he can't escape, but Chinluo doesn't need to waste any more time to catch it back. Ah, what's wrong with me? What's the matter? I actually walked out of the cell, I guess I'm confused. I'll go back now. Boy, why don't you kill me? Eva smiled mischievously in her eyes. Tight then there was a layer of disappointment and fear. The latter's eyes seemed to be covered with frost, and he could feel the cold killing intent in the other's eyes from so far away. Okay, I'll let you know when there is news. The blue in Chinluo's eyes changed and gradually covered with thin ice. As long as the opponent has any evil thoughts, it is basically the biggest threat. Compared to Eva, Blackjack's expression was much quieter. He was also tied by Seastone, and his face was ashen. He had already been entered into other label products by Chinluo, and it was not a serious competition at all. The black half of the face seemed to be withered. Zo Baba, on the contrary, the white side was like baby fat, with smooth and tender skin. Luyun God, I beg you, there are a lot of adults, raise your hands and let me go. Even if I become a cow and a horse in the future, I will not frown. Please believe me, I have brought you to find so many guarantees, even if there is no credit or hard work. Please read it to me. Blackjack came over from his sleep and was surprised when he saw the scene that led them to a surprise, but he remembered that Chinluo once said that when he found the treasure, he was released. Didn't they go to Going City? This treasure plan has long been realized. Well, then let me think about it. Chinluo's expression flashed with frost, which made this person shudder. Facing Chinluo's rogue like a bachelor, it made Blackjack stunned for a while. He couldn't refute it when others said he would consider it. The other party had an absolute advantage, and he couldn't refute it. What happened? Then, Chinluo walked away, leaving only the black robe and the red cloud, like a cold wind blowing in front of him, but he himself couldn't do anything. Back to the small island in Laboon's gastric juice, Chinluo was thoughtful, and suddenly bumped into Momoshiki, who was in a rush. Momoshiki and Chinluo were not at the same level of force at all. Chinluo automatically released his full-level flesh. He knocked Momoshiki upside down. Fortunately, Chinluo reacted in time. Between the lightning and flint, he spun and teleported, and quickly carried her to the ground. Hearing Momoshiki's cry for help, she heard Momoshiki scream in surprise, "The woman is awake. She is shouting to see you." Want to see me? Chinluo was puzzled for a while. Why did he want to see him? How did she know that I was here? Chinluo said this sentence as soon as his brain twitched. She said she saw you dimly before she fainted. That's fine, I'll meet her. Chinluo's tone was calm, and he didn't make any distinction because the other party was fake.